Okay, now I'm
Alright.
gonna go to
Well,
I hit the streaming button.
Nathan,
but then I have
you
to do a
talk?
thing on the
Hello?
YouTube end where I actually have to hit go live because it
Oh,
actually won't go
Hello?
live until I hit that button on the YouTube end.
anyone going out?
So now I'm hitting the button. It's like really
Alright.
far behind. Hold on,
Okay.
and let me check the
Watch it
audio.
while we're recording it.
All right. Okay, now I'm gonna go to
Well,
I hit the streaming button.
Nathan,
but then I
you
have to do a
talk?
thing on the
Hello?
YouTube end where I actually have to hit go live.
Alright, we should be good. I don't.
It actually won't go
Oh.
live until I hit that.
I'm not sure I
button
picked
on
up
the
Matt,
YouTube
but
end.
maybe he just hadn't talked. So.
Anyone going out?
All right, we should be live.
Alright.
talk because nobody asked me. Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, it's I would ask you to talk like in order, but like it's like 2 minutes behind.
Yeah, so it's
Oh,
probably out the
fuck.
lag. Yeah, I get it.
So if nothing else, at least Nathan has it on his end. So we don't really care too much about the YouTube, how it gets to YouTube. We just kind of do it. So
No worries.
Here we go.
From the industrial wastelands of Michigan to the fruited plains of Iowa, this is the American Dream.
You are the dead. Remain exactly where you are. Make no move until you are ordered. We burn them to ashes and then from the ashes. That's our official motto. Now we can see you. Clasp your hands behind your heads. Stand out in the middle of the room. Stand back to back.
Who can explain the fascination of fire? What draws us to it? Whether we're young or old.
Here comes the candles will light you to bed. Here comes a chopper to chop off your head.
And welcome to the American Greed Factory podcast. This is Nathan.
this is Conlon.
Andrew?
And Matt.
Ah, there we are. We're all together, separately. We're doing.
Are we at least 6 feet apart on the screen?
Yeah, at least. We're doing our part
Hopefully.
to keep Make America Great Again. Oh, and happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. That's nice of you.
Thank you.
No, just Matt.
Yeah. All right, there's two of us.
Fine, ending call now.
We can fight over who it belongs to. You can have it. It's fine.
Happy birthday to one of you. Fight for my husband.
The other one can just deal with it. Get it.
how many
That's
times
fine.
in every situation does somebody like make you guys like pit you guys against each other for some very stupid reason because you're guys brothers and twins?
Sometimes.
Not for a long time.
Okay.
Most of the time, I'll with
Show.
Yeah, all the time.
Because I figure that's like one of those things like we don't like me and Nathan don't experience that, and we just and then we're like, oh, this will be a funny joke. We don't realize it's like something that everybody does to you at all times and points in your life.
It's all right.
Yeah, do you complete each other's sentences and share the same thought?
I don't know about that.
Do you have the same soul?
Well, let
No.
me check. Andrew, do we have the same soul?
I think
Nope.
like I don't know, like you guys as twins is like the completely opposite twins. Like the only way you could be more different is if one of you was a girl.
Well, one of us.
Stay tuned for the next development.
Just going full Wachowski on this.
Yep, it's gonna be great. We're gonna make a fifth Matrix. It's gonna be good.
Well, how's quarantine going for everyone?
Who wants
Well,
to go
lack of
first?
quarantine for me.
Well,
Lack of quarantine for me. I haven't really.
bars, restaurants, and stuff. Even if you still, why are you still working? I don't. What are they? Is there a demand for that still, or?
I think that's for you.
Oh,
Andrew.
for any of us, or
No, just
oh, okay.
you, last person talking.
Oh
Well, no,
no, it was the
because Andrew
yeah.
makes the juice machine, so I guess that's a part of the central.
yeah, like we do all the cartons for like juice milk or juice almond milk. Even like Chobani yogurt uses our machines now, so we're kind of essential apparently now. So
Oh, I thought there would be enough of that in the pipeline.
yeah, you'd think, but no, we're essential.
No,
There's never enough shit in the pipeline nowadays.
no, that is this is the disadvantage of just in time.
Inventory.
Yeah, is that when everybody buys everything, it's like it doesn't look like Because the idea is like you have the algorithm figured out where it's like just as it's going empty, somebody's going to fill that shelf space, and of course, no, it's now it's just empty. But
Yeah. See, I still end up going out way more than I want to just to get basic things.
I haven't been out since Monday. I've been completely down here the whole time.
I'm having to go out every other day to get milk, water, because you can only get like if you can find it, you can only get one, and there's no like canned food on the show. There's like plenty of like expensive meat, but there's no like canned food or something you could keep for days and days, and it's just ridiculous. There's no toilet paper at any price. It's very few like Bounty stuff like that. So
Because our Walmart like limited a bunch of items to just one per household.
yeah.
So like usually if you get there early, you can get something you need. But
Oh, I think there's just people that drive around and go from store to store to store with a whole family, and they just send people in with cash.
well, yeah, they're supposed to limit that now to even like now it's like one shopper per household.
Yeah,
Like
well,
they want to limit it that further.
yeah,
But it's gonna be hard to enforce that.
putting people on the front lines is some pretty nasty stuff doing that. I mean, people just need to stop. We're not running out of food or anything, but it is obnoxious. Like when you can't find, you got to go to 5 different stores to find stuff. And then I go into Lowe's today because I'm doing a basement project, and I figure, well, we'll just get in and get out. And the fucking store was wall to wall. There was hardly anywhere to park. Everyone was in there. It's like, well, what the fuck is this?
I had the fun thing of paying my bills today, and you know, I heard like they're gonna suspend student payment for like 4 months. Nope,
Yeah,
that didn't happen.
No.
I had that.
Well,
fun
you have
thing-
to.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry. No, you have to ask for that. You don't just automatically get it. It's not. You have to like call them and say, hey, I've been affected by the coronavirus, or like my income's been limited. Same thing with mortgages and stuff. You have to call and say that.
And then, so like last month, I didn't have to pay my cable bill because it was like in the negative. It was like, oh, cool, they finally stopped. Like, and maybe they stopped something where they've been like ripping me off the whole time. They're like, oh, here it is. And then I got like a nearly $600 bill this month, so that was fun.
Oh, so why wasn't the last month in the negative?
I
They just-
have no idea.
Oh, it's
I
like-
guess because we moved or something,
Oh, okay.
which I don't know why that would change anything. But so yeah, that sucked.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got see my unemployment this week. I got my first round of that, and that was like regular. And then there's no sub pay from work. And then so I try to contact people at the union. And they're like, well, yeah, because they upped the unemployment amount. There's a sub pay amount got to be recalculated. I said, okay, where's this week's? Because this is for 2 weeks ago. Because you're always like waiting. And it's like, yeah, everything's held up. And it's like, oh, okay, well, good. Then I guess my bills are held up too, right? I mean, God knows who I'm talking to there. It's like, well, who's in prison? I mean, who's about to go to prison? I don't want to talk to that guy. I want to talk to the other guy that's going to go to prison in 2 months, so I get someone to talk to consistently. But, yeah. So, yeah, all these promises is all bullshit, and I knew it would be.
Yeah, so I did my taxes today just to get some money.
How much did you get?
Well, I didn't get TurboTax free because I'm not in the military anymore, so that was like $150 off my thing. But I usually get $3,000 back because I was in school, but now I'm not in school, so I got $900 back.
Yeah,
So
that's fun.
yeah, I mean it's better than nothing. It's better than having to pay.
Yeah, I guess.
True.
Yeah, it's.
And then today I actually worked out for the first time, so that was nice.
Yeah, my son's been doing a lot of that in the basement. We go downstairs and do 150 push-ups, and we've got a bunch of some free weights down there, and because he's going crazy. They can't school. There's no more school for him this year.
Yeah, they just canceled it completely, right?
Yeah,
He just graduates.
he just gets a diploma in the mail with a 3 GPA. It's like, well, good. I'm glad you got out with that.
So I did 100 kettlebell swings, which that always that just ruins your whole body. So that was the first thing I did.
Yeah.
And then I did some, Joe Rogan's favorite thing to talk about was Turkish get-ups,
Okay.
which basically it's like if you lay down on the floor. I just have a dumbbell. It's has about 24 pounds on it. You just hold it above your head, and you basically just get into a standing position while holding that weight above your head.
Yeah.
Which it's a full body workout. You feel alive. And then I just did one on one side, and I tried to do one on the other side, and my shoes are they're my crappy running shoes. And so I nearly slipped on the carpet, so I just stopped there. And so next time I do that, I'm just gonna wear boots.
Yeah.
And then I did some stuff on the Bowflex, and then I did some just 20 minutes on the elliptical. Oh, and some battle ropes.
Oh, okay.
Got
There
some
you go.
battle ropes down here. Although I accidentally ripped. I have it there's a heater thing. I have it anchored on, and it ripped the heater out of the thing.
Whoops.
It's going too hard on the battle ropes.
We have to fix that.
Never mind. Battle's over.
Yeah. Then I got this T-shirt.
Freshly squeezed.
Yeah, this is an orange. This is Orange Cassidy, the wrestler who doesn't want to wrestle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's got his half thumbs up thing on here. So yeah, I ordered a couple of shirts, which now I regret. Well, I like the shirts. It's just now I barely have any money. It's well, that was a regretful purchase. I got the Trump check coming in anytime soon, and the tax money. So get back into the black.
Yeah, it's supposed to be third week of April for most people, as long as they have a bank account on their tax return in the last couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll either send it to wherever you got it for your last year's return or for the current return. So hopefully, me recently doing my taxes didn't fuck that up, but we'll see. That'll be a fun thing to figure out too. Are you, Andrew? Are you scrolling your mouse on your end?
Yeah, sorry. Catching that?
Yeah. Just hit the button. Hit the button so it's free, so it doesn't do the clicks.
Okay.
Okay, you should be good.
Yeah, sorry about that. I guess I didn't realize it was catching that. So,
Matt, do
Yes.
you still have to go into work, or are you at home somehow?
Oh yeah. I'm not allowed to go to the station because all reporters and photographers, since we're out and about interacting with people, they don't want us coming in the building. So I have my work vehicle and all my equipment at home, and I get up in the morning and I sit around until I have to go somewhere, and I do an interview or whatever else shoot I need to do, and then I go hang out at my reporter's apartment building's conference room and work on stuff remotely with a laptop, and then try to send it in, and it takes hours because it doesn't go very well when you try to send it through a mobile hotspot. So yeah, so that's about Oh, and when we interview people, we can't get close to them anymore, so I have this 6-foot boom mic pole. I put a mic on the end of it. It's I'm fishing for interviews. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I saw some pictures from my cousin who does the same thing you do, and he has a whole setup where he just works from his car now, has a fishing pole, boom mic.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world. There's a lot of people that have it worse than I do, so I can't complain. It's just not the ideal way to do my job.
Yeah,
but it can be done. There's a
we
lot
just
of,
we just want to know your
reporters that
personal
doing-
experience. You don't have to none of us are medical except for Nathan's wife. So I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. So the very first. Well, let's see. How long has this been going on now? What are we in 3 weeks now? When people have been freaking out. Is it 3 weeks? I'm trying to think.
I think
I was off. I had
forever.
vacations scheduled. Yeah, it seems like forever. Well, I had vacation for a week that I had scheduled because I was supposed to watch my kids for spring break, and then the week after that, I was sick. I never had a fever or anything. I just had low energy and was tired, and I don't know what it was because there was all sorts of things going around in my house. And when I went to see the urgent care person, they were like, it's probably cold. Who knows? And then I'm like, okay, well, I haven't had energy for a week, but okay, sure. They're like, just rest. And so I told my work, and they're like, well, you probably shouldn't come to work, so just hang out until you feel better. And that took a week. So yeah, and my temperature was never high, but it got down to like the lowest it was 92. So I don't know if that's normal or not, or what that was, but maybe I was dying. I don't really know.
Did you see God?
I tried to. Yeah, I saw God, and oh man, she's beautiful. But
So you were hallucinating too.
I was hallucinating, and Alanis Morissette was there. It was great. But no, like, and then this past week is, to answer your question, it was the last week that I've been back at work since this has gotten more serious. And yeah, I really don't interact with anybody except for my reporter and whoever we're interviewing that day if we interview them. We've mostly been using Zoom video conferencing, which that's fun because you can get some people that crash that, and that's really entertaining. Have you heard about that?
Yes.
Yeah. We thought about using Zoom for this at some point.
Hasn't happened.
But because it's had a lot of traffic over the past couple of weeks, like there's been all these reports of all these problems, like information being stolen, weird call redirects between China. So it's like, well, I guess we're just fine using this then, because we tried to use Google Studio a couple weeks ago, and that was a massive failure. But it didn't, send data randomly somewhere.
Out.
Didn't send.
Well,
it
like,
wasn't on the Beijing
like, I've used it every day for the last week when I was at work, and I haven't had a problem. But I could see at some point there being an issue. So with all the people on it, but I mean, there's been people like, trolling or like getting into like Zoom like chats on AA meetings and saying alcohol is delicious, and people like crashing doctorate dissertations and drawing penises on things, and so there's always that possibility.
Yeah, I heard Maria Bamford was doing like so a thing she does is like personal comedy routines. Like she'll do her comedy routine to like one person, and so she was doing that on Zoom, and then somebody just like crashed her comedy routine. And then she didn't even know what was happening. She was just doing her thing. And then now she has to figure it out. Because I forget, like, there's a pay Zoom and then there's like a free Zoom, but it's only like 40 minutes of broadcasting time. But then you have to wait and do another 40 minutes. But I haven't actually used it, so I don't know.
It's pretty easy to use. They need to work out some kinks because it's kind of a lot heavier traffic than it used to be.
Yeah. Spending a lot of time with the family.
Make it sound so fun.
You gotta wave a pistol around. You gotta tell them who's in charge. Don't be a pussy.
Oh shit, we getting our guns? Okay, I'll be right back.
No, don't. Oh,
no, this is always here. We don't have to go get it. It's always here. We don't have to stop.
No, we gotta wave our dicks around now.
No,
I don't have any guns.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah,
he's got 3 kids in the house. So.
Oh, well, teach them that they're dangerous and leave them alone.
Well, I mean, I have Nerf guns. Does that count? I guess that would be the closest thing I have.
That could work.
Okay, I'm just gonna have my gun in frame the rest of the time.
Yeah, we're just gonna sit around.
Okay.
Do this
Yeah, my brother, the militiaman.
Right, cool. Well, I can get more guns. You know, we have like one in the other hand and then one laying on the desk in the camera boy.
We're just trying to calm everyone.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, don't worry, Andrew's safe.
See, it's not loaded.
Oh, it's not? Good. I don't know. Oh, yeah.
Well, now it's not. No.
Well, I hope not. Yeah, that's what we want on one of these: is you shooting yourself accidentally. Tiger King and
accidentally.
Yeah.
This is good proof for the life insurance company that this was an accident. A total accident.
Oh man, I saw it on my phone. It didn't.
Oh. So this is basically the state of the world right now.
I'm also looking at the Sig Sauer Reddit thread right now and some of the awesome combinations. Because Conlon, in his add-on to his gun, there's like a full, looks like an AR-15 with a Sig lower for a pistol, like I'm looking at right now. So
well, I did get a weapon light, so.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Just bring your gun in frame. Come on. It's 3 out of 4.
I can't. I can't until I fill out the paperwork. It's actually not assembled, but until I fill out the paperwork, it's illegal to put it together.
Oh, that makes
okay.
sense.
Well, here's the thing, Matt. There's something. It's called a short-barreled rifle. So you ever seen an MP5? It's like the machine gun that at the end of Die Hard. It's a machine gun that he goes ho ho ho. Now I have a machine gun.
Oh yeah.
That's an MP5. So it's considered a submachine gun, but it's considered a short barrel rifle. So it's a rifle that has the barrel is less than 16 inches. I think that's the termination. So in most states, those are considered illegal, except unless you fill out a thing. So here's the fun thing. So you can sell what's considered a pistol. So they got like an AK-47 or an AR-15 that just doesn't have a stock on the end. You ever seen stuff like that? Well, that's just considered a pistol, and that's totally legal. But if it's a pistol and then you put a stock on it, then it's considered a short-barreled rifle, and that's technically illegal without filling out a Form 1 ATF form, which is essentially gives you permission to modify your weapon. And so in this case, I'd have to fill that out, spend $200, and then it's legal for me to have a short barrel rifle. And then you have to do things like it's called put it in a trust, so then that short barreled rifle can transfer to other people. So that's what that is. So you can do that for a short barrel rifle, and you also do the same thing. So that's illegal in Iowa to do that. It's also legal to buy a silencer the same way, which is also illegal in Iowa. It's what they call it's called a $200 tax stamp. It's like you buy the thing and then you spend an extra $200 to modify your weapon. So that's what that shit is.
Okay, I just took apart my gun. We can have a quiz for Matt. And I'm going to hold up 4 parts, and he's going to tell me which one's the illegal part to own without a license. All right, so you got the slide. You got the barrel.
I see you right now.
Well, okay, can you see me or no? All right. Well, you got the barrel. You got the lower with the trigger guard. Okay, and then you got the spring assembly, and then the mag and bullets and stuff like that. So what makes this an actual gun?
It doesn't have Nerf. It doesn't have Nerf darts.
Where are the Nerf darts going?
It's whatever the serial number on it's considered the gun, right?
Yeah, it's the lower that makes it the gun.
Because mine.
So everything.
Well,
the trigger part makes it the gun.
No, well, on mine it does because the serial number is on the trigger assembly. So on my gun.
Oh, okay.
Because my gun, I can throw it in a bunch of different things, and it's all considered the same gun. It's why they built it that way. Because there's like rules in Europe where it's like, because my gun can become like 8 different guns if I have all the parts.
And that's why I like your gun.
And it's not as good as that gun, but it's also that's the cool thing about it. But because the serial number is on the trigger assembly, and you can dump that into a bunch of different things. It's all considered the same gun. So, anyways, that's enough gun talk. Unless Nathan hasn't piped up.
I was gonna.
Oh, I don't really.
Yeah, Nathan, what do you think? Is there similar laws in Michigan? I don't know much about guns.
It's about the same.
Little to nothing.
A lot of things here you have to go to your state sheriff for.
Okay.
Anything with like silencers, automatic weapons. I don't know about STR.
You just register it with them and they put you on a list. Is that what it is?
Well, you still got to do the federal paperwork, but there's an extra step here. You got to get I don't know. I've never looked into it. I've never had the money to buy shit like that. So most of my guns are like old revolvers and some pistols. And I haven't done anything new.
Super soakers, stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's I can't afford guns anymore, so I'll follow up on them. I have enough.
Yeah, we're all on the plastic crack bandwagon now, so we can't afford guns. What was that?
Oh, Matt just moved something in front of the camera.
Oh,
I think it's just beard.
Oh, my
the camera loved that.
Yeah, my one of my earbuds popped out.
Oh, okay. And Nathan got AirPods.
Yeah, I got those.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, that's
Like
what.
those.
Huh?
How do you like them?
They're pretty good. They don't. I mean, they're not going to stay in your ear for vigorous activity, but they're pretty good for like casual listening.
Oh, nice.
They're
Yeah,
the-
I've always wanted to get those. Just haven't done it. So.
Well, they were like on sale for $120 somewhere. So that's why I got them, because they're usually like 160 or something. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I've got these things because I would just buy AirPods, but they're too expensive and my ears are too prone to destroying headphones. So these are like $60. And it comes in a case, it charges the case, and then those AirPods come out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And they don't have any buttons on it, but that looks like a button on the outside, but it's actually touch sensitive. So you touch it to hit play, and you can tap it twice, but it's not a physical button.
Oh, yeah, that's how the AirPods are. You just tap them and do stuff.
But they're from China, so but like I got those because I like them. I like that little, like that thing there, the charging case. You can actually charge your phone with it too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. What are those called again? That's interesting.
Oh, these are just
was it BLZK?
yeah. It's like, yeah, they're just yeah, it's BLZK. They're just
Our
like
show today is brought to you by Blazin.
yeah. There's a lot of like Chinese crap like this. These are like more higher end, but you can get some real crap. But these are like the more higher end crap because in case it breaks, I'm not out $200. Because like I said, like
That's smart.
because I had a different brand like these, but my ears destroyed them because if you combine my sweat and my earwax, it just destroys. I mean, I've killed $100 sets of like real high end stuff with my sweat. I've destroyed multiple iPad shuffles. I have destroyed an iPad video, or not iPad. What do you call that? You know, remember the iPod video? That's right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So yeah, my sweat destroys everything. But
Yeah, but they're nice. That they're the best wireless earbuds you can buy because the battery life on them is pretty good. And then if you pop them in the case, they recharge in like 10 minutes to full power.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's and you can use them. They're very effective to talk on because I always talk on my phone with some kind of headset or something. So this way I don't have to have that. I wish they stayed in my ears a little better, but that's just me.
Okay, well, yeah, because they always look like they're precariously in people's ears, and I never believe that they're actually in there when I see people wearing them.
Yeah,
like there's no way that's actually in there.
Yeah, they're precariously perched.
Okay,
but they're not. They're meant for like sitting or doing basic activity. If you're running a jackhammer, probably not
not gonna work out.
Yeah.
Matthew, I do want to recognize Matt. I do want to recognize your gun. Thank you for bringing it.
Thanks. No problem. I just noticed it was on the floor. I'm like, I might as well just do that and see if anybody notices. Next, random things that show up.
So things actually planned for the show. What was I going to talk about?
Checking in with everybody.
Yeah. Did anybody? What did your Netflix ever work, Nathan?
Oh,
Huh. That's weird.
There's something wrong.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of things that aren't working. Like Hulu and Amazon work, but Netflix doesn't work. Netflix doesn't work. I signed up for a free account. It doesn't work. So there's just something wrong with it here.
Okay. Because I did get a notice as like a new sign in, and it was from your area, and it's like
I was doing the log out, log in thing.
Yeah, and so I don't think it was doing anything there because like you can still like search for stuff, it just won't play videos, right?
It's there in swirls.
Huh. Okay.
Oh.
Because there was a thing beforehand where it's like if there's more than 4 devices active at one time, whatever the last device is doesn't get to play anything. But I don't think there's 4 active devices.
Yeah.
And it would tell you that error if that was the problem, but it's not giving you any error. So
No, I don't know what's going on. I might have to try it on a different browser or something.
yeah.
But I have a lot of audio books and stuff backlogged that I'm listening to.
Yeah.
And
Well, just like stuff for the
watched-
show.
I watched all of Devs.
Oh, you did? Okay, I just watched the first 3 episodes.
No, I watched everything that was available. There's still 2 more. Well, it comes out weekly on Hulu or on
FX.
So yeah. I mean, I figured out what they were doing in the first episode, but I'm just wanting to see it. It's well done. But I'm
Okay.
just wanting to see it through because I figured, oh, okay, let's see. They're using quantum computing, so this is either about simulation theory or multiverse. That's what I said in the first 20 minutes, and it turns out it's probably both. So it's like, oh, okay.
Have you guys heard of the show, Andrew or Matt?
No, I haven't heard of it.
What show are we talking about? It cut out.
Devs. It has Nick Offerman in, is it?
Yep, I know about. I've read about it. I haven't got a chance to watch it because I usually get stuck watching Disney Plus. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll sit the
Lot of
kid
Nightmare Before
down and watch
Christmas.
this one.
It's
about our
it's
dystopian future. I love it.
I mean, sort of. It's like I didn't get because I thought it was about game development because usually when you hear people say devs, it's usually referring to game development. And then I watched the first episode, and then
Mhm.
someone was talking about comparing it to this is if Stanley Kubrick made a TV show now, this would be the show he'd make, and it's yeah, it's that because it's very slow but very well done and very introspective, and just how the shot compositions are and how the set design is. It's yeah, this is if Stanley Kubrick did something now, this is what it looked like.
Got a great soundtrack.
Yeah, because I can't think of the guy's name, but the guy that wrote it is the guy that did the movie Annihilation and all that stuff.
Alex Garland.
So he does a lot of stuff Alex Garland. Yep. Yeah, he does a lot of stuff like that too. And what was that one? What was that one where it was the oh man, it wasn't a robot exactly. It was what was that called?
Ex Machina.
Yes, yeah, that one. I'm forgetting a couple things, but
He did 28 Days Later. He wrote that. And
Oh, yeah.
and Sunshine, which is a great first half of a movie, but the last
Yeah.
great first 3/4 of a movie, and the last quarter is just a stupid horror movie.
Best half of
You're like,
movie
oh.
you'll ever see, next to Event Horizon.
Yeah.
so yeah, I want to watch it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Well, they have some interesting sound cues, and the soundtrack in it sounds like from that weird kind of, remember that weird American reboot of Solaris they did with George Clooney?
Yeah.
A lot of
yeah.
people use that soundtrack style. I don't know if it's the soundtrack from that, or if it's just this is just some kind of different version of it. But it's oh yeah, this is like Solaris. It's just a lot of long shots with people staring and this music playing, and oh okay.
And just shots of that weird statue of his kid that's
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
50
gonna
feet
bring
tall.
that up. I never
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah, I liked it when the guy. Well, you guys watch it. Yeah.
Well, it's
the
weird
statue-
because it's hard to pick out because I thought this was oh, this is near future because they're talking about quantum computing, but everything in the show is just now. It's from
Yeah.
now, but I don't. Is it better? It just look like now, or is it better? Or does it look like now and it's better, or is it just now? I don't. And there's things you could pick up on where it's obviously time it maybe has been altered because
Yeah.
of this guy's machine or whatever, but
Yeah. Well, I think in the end, this is heading towards simulation theory.
yeah.
It's what it seems to be. And then it's they have a time machine and they can see in the past and future. And then they bring up the Schrodinger von Neumann stuff about, well, even if you made a machine that could sample that, your viewing it would change the result. They're giving themselves little outs. So
Yeah.
maybe the future isn't the future, but It's a weird show. And Nick Offerman's kind of a strange casting choice. He does a good job.
Yeah, but you don't expect him to like, hey, you're gonna be a Steve Jobs type Nick Offerman. It's like that seems like it won't work, but he actually totally does.
Yeah, he's a dark person, just a tortured person who kind of sometimes doesn't seem bad, but then you realize, oh yeah, these people are doing really bad stuff.
Yeah.
It's because the CIA guy, you want to say, well, he's really the bad guy, but no, he's doing what he's told.
Well, there's that one cryptic part where he's outside his house, Nick Offerman's house, and he's smoking. He's like, I've been meaning to quit, and he's like, that doesn't matter, right? It's like,
Yeah.
well, what the fuck does that mean?
Well, yeah, there was another time when he was like, why do you live in this crappy house and drive that old piece of shit car? Why don't you get an electric car like you guys do and do something for the environment? Nick Offerman's like, I don't care about the environment. It doesn't matter. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. It's like, oh, okay. So what have these people seen or what do they know about?
And then later, that's the rules that the people inside the machine talk about, where it's like, one of the rules is that you can't look forward. You can only look backwards.
Yeah.
And so obviously it's like, well, obviously Nick Offerman has looked forward, and then he told them to stop for reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't know. And it's also a murder mystery on top of it, so that's a third layer of intrigue.
Yeah. It's really just a more intelligent version of Michael Crichton's Timeline.
Yeah.
It's kind of they're doing the same shit. It's just a more like it tries to fill in the gaps with like we acknowledge the existence of physics type stuff.
Or it's almost like Assassin's Creed if you just didn't have any action whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just like, here's the animus, and what does that affect?
Yeah, that's what they're doing or what they think they're doing.
Yeah.
I think someone read Alistair Reynolds' books. Which one was that? Overnight or whatever. It's basically a whole book about simulation theory.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a it's a short story that's like 300 pages, but it's yeah.
This also seems like the right kind of up its own ass that the second season of Westworld wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. And the main character in this, the girl, is just that's another interesting casting choice. It's just this very androgynous girl who's Chinese but doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
It's
well, she has a short haircut, so she almost looks like a small boy rather than a woman.
yeah,
So.
doesn't look like a woman. And it doesn't really look Asian, but I guess she is. But they never show her mom, so I don't. Maybe her mom's white or something.
Well, I mean, her mom was begging her to go back to China, but she didn't want to. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing they're originally from China. And they said at some point they say she's like second generation American or something like that.
Yeah.
But her dad could be white. You don't know. Her mom lives in China.
No, she sees her dad later. He's Chinese.
Oh, okay.
Well, they're from Hong Kong. So
Okay.
depends on who you ask. That's part of China or it isn't.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
That was a thing before the plague.
That was like British China, right?
Yeah, it was British China till 1997. Yeah, something like
Well, there was a reason why they like all the Hong Kong movies were shot there rather than like in mainland China, because it was more capitalistic.
Yeah. So yeah, Devs, everyone check it out.
Yeah,
If
you
have
can.
time.
Yeah, it's on Hulu, or you can, if you have FX somehow, you can watch it there. I'm not sure when it airs on FX. I just know
Every
that.
Thursday night at 9 p.m.
Oh, okay, that's a good time slot. That's a confident time slot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they spent enough money on it, so.
Well, apparently it airs with Dave on FX too, because we've been watching that. I just haven't seen Devs come up on our feed for that though.
What's Dave?
Little Dicky's show. You know Little Dicky the rapper or whatever?
No.
Oh, okay, no. Okay, so Matt probably knows who he is. Matt.
Yeah, I do. It's this white guy that actually he used to work at an ad agency and he did commercials for like the NBA and stuff. And then he wanted to rap, so he started rapping, and it's like comedy sort of. And he talks about he has a weird penis, like it's messed up. And basically, this is a show about that. So there you go.
Just a white Jewish guy that uses bar mitzvah money to start his rap career. So he paid for his first like 6 videos with all his bar mitzvah money he saved, or whatever, when he was in his like late 20s or early 30s or something like that. So I mean, if you look up he has like a video where basically just goes around like getting people to like get him to film in their mansions for free and like keep producing a rap video for next to nothing. And so that's the whole video. It's like 6 or 7 minutes long. So, but no, it's a pretty funny show so far, and it kind of like it's supposed to be like truthful of his rise in rapping or his rap career and stuff. So interesting, kind of that way. But the only show I've taken in entirely this week was Happy Season 2, the last season we'll ever made of that show.
Oh yeah, I got like
which is kind of
episode in, but
oh really?
Well, because I was watching it when it was on Sci-Fi, and then Sci-Fi had a weird thing with its login, and it was hard to actually watch it. And so I just ended up stop watching it, and then they canceled the show. It's like, well, I hope this wasn't my fault.
You were the one deciding person, Colin. It's all your fault.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like that, where it's like, oh, this show's good, and you make sure to appointment watch it, like, you know, and then like it still gets canceled. It's like, well, I guess there's nothing I can do. Whatever.
I'll just say the Easter Spectacular is amazing. That's. But,
it's another Patton Oswalt show that got canceled. Although AP Bao got saved by Hulu, right?
Peacock.
I think
Peacock?
So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the NBC streaming thing, it's not on yet, but Peacock, it'll be on that.
Oh, okay.
So is Hulu just going to be eventually nothing when NBC, ABC, and everybody just has all their own shit?
No.
Like, who's going to need Hulu anymore?
Well, it's still owned by, like, one of the major networks, isn't it?
Hulu is still around. Like, ABC is like, yeah, ABC.
I thought it was owned by ABC and NBC.
Yeah, they both, so basically, most of their content's going to go there, but there's certain shows that don't have enough audience to air on the network itself, and that'll be on Peacock. So, and then there's, like, older stuff that they bought to put in their library to appeal to people, but, yeah.
Now, didn't NBC own CISO?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. That was a failed one. I watched that. That was interesting.
Yeah, there's a couple originals. I liked Harmon Quest, and then that's Take My Wife, Please.
Oh, yep.
That was pretty good. And then it was like
that's on.
Is that still going?
What was the
Well, Harmon Quest is still going. No, it's on Verve.
What's that?
It's like, so you know, Crunchyroll. It's like a part of Crunchyroll. They do anime.
Okay.
They stream anime.
Oh, okay.
But Crunchyroll, you don't actually have to have an account with them. You just they have ads on all their anime. Or if you get an account, then you just get rid of the ads.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot.
Or if you have an ad blocker, you get no ads.
Yeah, that's why I watch. That's why I watch free movies on YouTube sometimes. Ad blocker, thanks.
But yeah, so Peacock hasn't premiered yet, right?
No, I think it was supposed to be in the summer. I don't know if it's going to still be that way or not.
Because I remember also like HBO Max is supposed to come out, but I'm not sure how HBO Max is different from Now or Go.
So HBO Max is like more Warner Brothers stuff. So like it's going to be all Doctor Who stuff, like every season of that, and like Friends is going to be on there, and like different stuff like that wasn't previously on HBO.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's supposed to be next month. I don't know if that's still happening the same way, but
and then what's the
I
other?
don't know why.
What's the other streaming service? It's like Blurb or something like that. It has like the
Quibi. Is that
Quibi, yeah. That's very interesting. I don't know how that's gonna go because that one's that's like phone centric, isn't it?
You can't watch it on your TV at all. It's only for your phone. So, yeah, it's a really big gamble. It's a $1 billion gamble. Yeah, basically, like it's Jeffrey Katzenberg that used to be at DreamWorks, and then what is her name? Megan Whitman. Was it Yahoo or whatever her name is?
Okay.
And it's like a bill. I think it's $1.2 or $1.7 billion they raised for this. So it's like it's like YouTube, but like it's like A-list like Hollywood people doing like 10-minute shows, like parts of shows, or like they break movies into 10-minute chunks, or reality shows and stuff. It's I don't know if it's gonna work, because the idea is it's supposed to be for people on their commutes. But right now not a lot of people are commuting, so I don't know how that's gonna work. I guess they can sit around at home and just watch all of it, but I don't know.
Well, now you just watch
some of the
something
stuff-
every 10 minutes, and then you go to the distressing news, and then when you're full of stress, you go back to Quilby.
Yeah, they even have. Well, that's the thing. They're gonna have like news broken down into like 10-minute chunks, like on that too. So it's it remains to be seen whether that's gonna work, because it's like I read an article and it was like it's gonna work as well as Verizon 90 or Play 90 or whatever the hell it was that nobody ever watched. Yeah. So it's debatable. I might check it out. I think it's $4.99 with ads and $7.99 a month without ads. So I don't know if that's worth it for that kind of content. But they're bringing back the show Punk'd, but it'll be what is his name? Chance the Rapper.
Chance the Rapper.
Ashton Kutcher. Yeah. So, and they're like doing a bunch of things that like sound semi-interesting, but I don't know if it's worth that kind of money. So who knows?
Well, they got a bunch of big. Sorry, they got a bunch of big names behind it because they have a huge advertising push with a bunch of different people in the background. So,
oh yeah, that
I don't
was a
know.
Super Bowl commercial, but yeah.
We had like the chick who plays Sansa. She has her own show where she gets like lost in the wilderness or something.
Yeah, there's a couple different shows that sound like it would be interesting. Like there's it's kind of like Pimp My Ride, but it's instead of Exhibit, it's Offset, and it's called Skirt. And it's like him and his friends looking at cars for 10 minutes at a time. I don't know. And then there's like Chrissy Teigen has her own court show, and like Caitlin Olsen from Always Sunny in Philadelphia is in the show, and like Will Forte is in the show, and Liam Hemsworth is in like a movie that's 10-minute chunks. So yeah, I don't know. Could be good, could be bad.
Sounds like a big swing though. Probably miss.
Yeah.
Probably yes.
I don't know that. Yeah, I'm curious about any startup at this point. Like, where's all this money coming from, and where's it going?
Well, anybody watch that documentary about the Silicon Valley? Something about the chick who made the blood device that was just a big scam.
Oh, the lady that this. Yeah, I watched.
I know that one. I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, what's her name? What was the name of that company?
No, not Thanos.
It was called Nigerian Prince.
No.
It was something
and-
close to Thanos.
Yeah. And am I the only one who hasn't seen the Tiger King documentary?
I haven't seen it because Netflix doesn't work.
Oh, that's right.
Some of it, but not all of it.
I've seen it, and yeah, it's interesting.
I mean,
Give
it
you that.
sounds like the American dream.
Oh yes, definitely.
I did learn in a David Spade interview with one of his ex-husbands or whatever that he doesn't actually sing his own country songs, which wasn't really a surprise. But other than that, yeah, it's a really good documentary, and has nobody comes out looking good from that documentary. Everybody looks like shit.
Yeah, by
Well,
the end of it, like, yeah, when you
well-
first start watching it, like, you might identify with one side over the other, but by the end, you're like, oh, they're all assholes. Like, I can't.
I heard the guy who did the documentary, even he's weird and disagreeable.
I buy that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he didn't exactly seem like a real people person.
Well, somebody said I was listening to a podcast, and somebody said like he like sort of like came up with Andy Warhol, like when he was learning to do shit or something. Like I don't know how old the guy is, but that's just something they were talking
Huh.
about.
Huh.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
woman's name is Elizabeth Holmes, by the way.
Oh, okay.
And she,
Huh.
yeah.
She's pretty bad person. Yeah, I mean,
I mean, yeah, well, she's just typical of a lot of people out in that wild, wild west of just do whatever the hell you want to and take
bunch of Or
Take
yeah, a bunch of
pictures.
conmen hucksters.
Yeah, and then take pictures.
Well, I don't know. I didn't see the documentary, but there seemed a lot of things where it's like she was genuine. Like this could change the world, and then like it never worked, and they just tried to like make people believe it did.
Well, yeah, she had very much that Steve Jobs vibe where it was like, I'm going to ask the impossible and then I'm going to go sell the impossible. But all the people that were in development were like, no, this is really impossible.
Yeah, this
You
isn't going to
can't
work.
replace a giant $900,000 Siemens testing machine with this module. You simply can't. There's a reason those blood scanning machines are so huge. And that, I mean, they were trying to do something, but they were also defrauding people and saying, oh yeah, it's almost there, it's right there in development. And like the German guy that was engineering it and stuff, he was like, don't stop telling people that we're years away from even prototype. We can't figure out how to make all this work. And so then it became like, I don't know, just some personal it seemed like a personal thing with her. It's like, I'm going to prove everyone wrong, even though I'm clearly wrong and everyone knows I'm wrong. And she got the way they got torpedoed so dramatically, and it didn't just become a typical Silicon Valley failure. Someone who worked for the company tipped off a guy at the Wall Street Journal. It's like, you got to look at this. This is fraud, and they know it's fraud. This isn't even. They're saying they're like 2 years from a turnkey. Let's go, and they're not even. They're 20 years away, something like that. So they were all kinds of internal information and stuff went to the Times that our Wall Street Journal or one of them nobody knew about, and when this whole thing blew up, then this reporter published this stuff. Like, yeah, this has been bad. This has been bad for a long time.
So has all this research been disbanded, or is there still somebody working on this?
No, it never would have worked.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like making a nuclear reactor for your home or something. Because they showed what because there's like the big Siemens and Fujitsu machines that do what she's trying to do. These things are as big as your house, and there's a reason why. And the guy clearly explained, like, this is what all this does, and this has to be kept sterile, and you have to use disposable stuff, and and there's a reason these analysis machines are so huge. And he clearly explained why. And it's like, there's no way you can make this into something the size of a printer or something on a desk. Like, it was supposed to be the size of a 3D printer to replace a piece of equipment that's as big as your house. And it's like, there's no way. We don't have the technology to do that. And so, yeah, that was. And then the fact that she was defrauded people out of so much money, the level of money, it's almost life imprisonment type defraud. You get into billions of dollars. Because nobody knew, the thing was, it was hard to account for where the money went. That's what got the SEC involved and stuff. Because if you just try and fail, but you spend tons of money, that's just trying and failing. There has to be space for that. But when there's billions of dollars being spent and your results are like, huh? And all the people that are working, all the experts you've hired to work on this are like, this will never work. Just believe in it. Just believe in the product. Never say no.
Well,
And then, like I said, of course, and the woman talked like this, like her voice was as deep as mine, which is just weird.
Yeah, she affected that voice. That wasn't.
Yeah,
her
I guess she
natural
doesn't really
voice.
talk that way. Yeah.
Well, it was her, like, being a businesswoman in a mostly businessman's world. It's like she does that for like intimidation purposes, so like people respect her more.
I would just immediately be like, is she like the best looking transsexual ever? Why did she talk this way? Show me the goods, literally. And she did, and there was nothing.
Yeah, the blood scanning machine.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what?
I've been doing some 3D printing because I know they've been asking for like 3D printers to like print medical supplies.
Yeah.
But my thing is too small to actually print it because mostly what they have people doing. So like in Italy, they've been printing like oxygen switch valves for CPAP machines.
Okay.
But they're not doing that here because it's illegal or it's not.
You might interfere
it's
with
not
some
ideal.
money. Yeah.
But a lot of people they've been it's these things you can print where you can put it on a door handle where you can like put your arm in it to open the door rather than put your hand on it.
Oh, okay.
There's that, and then they have people printing face shields.
Yeah.
So, but my printer's too small, so like I tried to print a face shield. I had to shrink it down to 78 percent, and then I had to print it vertically because I couldn't lay it down, and then and this is the result. So it's not it's not ideal.
Hey,
you can that's where the things broke off. So that's immediately bad.
Yeah.
But this is like it'd be here, and then you'd have this is where you put the plastic, and there's like these
Mhm.
the punch things there, but like also like the punch thing is just hanging off, so that's not ideal. So my printer's just too small to print the stuff that they
Oh,
would need.
okay.
So that's why you print a bigger printer and then just
Well,
keep
I do have
upscaling it.
I do have a bigger printer. I just have to assemble it, and I'm probably missing pieces, but because like the print base on the small one, it's like 7 inches, and then this is the print base for the bigger one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you could print like 3 of them on it at the same time if I needed to, but I have to put this together. So, and but I printed. Well, here's a baby Yoda I printed.
Yeah, you showed us that last.
Awesome.
But the hand still got fucked. So this one I printed. This is a different one. I printed it with support structure,
Mhm.
but the hand still got fucked up. But,
Huh.
How long did it take to print that?
Oh, 3 hours.
How much
Not
to
bad.
print one of those for me?
I mean,
I
I can
can-
just.
I can pay you for it, but
I mean, I can just give you one. It's not,
well, that's nice of you. But if I can pay you, you're doing the work. So.
but here's the support structures. I think these are kind of cool. It just prints.
That
the-
is cool.
It looks like cities or something, but yeah, it just prints
That's
it on the
awesome.
way up. Because what's supposed to do, like this little gouge out area, that was kind of like where I think that's. It was like I think that's where the hand was supposed to go. So it prints it out there, so presumably it has a place to print on top of. So it's not. See, the problem now the hand gets fucked up is that
Mm.
see, this part is separate from this layer. So when it prints this
Oh.
layer, it prints this layer, and then it prints this little piece of the hand, and it just falls to the air because it has nothing to sit on.
Oh, okay.
So that's the problem. So that's why this hand gets all fucked up. But so I printed it with support structure, but it was like I'd have to do complete support structure next time. But it got more of the hand.
Well, it
But
turned
there's-
out
but
pretty
there's
cool,
no,
though.
but there's no fingers. But yeah, you can tell it's Baby Yoda. It says, "What you seek is seeking you."
I like that. That's awesome.
And then you just download it off the internet and print it.
Cool.
But I like you can tell it's cloth. Like I like that detail
Yeah.
picks up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that comes through. I like that a lot.
And there's still
Good
stuff
job.
you need to clean up. Like you can see like on the back of the robe here, there's like some stuff hanging down there. But that's what happens when you kind of just like prints away from the center of the structure. But
That's really cool.
and also I guess I'm printing in a piece of thing that's like it's thicker. If I used a thinner plastic, it would print more layers and take more time, but it'd be more structurally sound and like less noticeable. That the layers would be less noticeable.
Oh,
But
so like what? So I know what a 3D printer is, but like, how do you get the plastic for it, or where does that come from? You just buy it, or
yeah, just buy it.
Yeah, it just comes in you either dump it into a resin vat and it's liquid, or it's like that where it's string cable.
okay?
This is just a spool of
Oh.
plastic, and then this goes into the feeding head, and then like it kind of melts it, and then prints it on the baseboard.
Does okay?
And this is ABS plastic. You can get all different kinds of plastic. You can get one that's like kind of it's like spongy, so it's like it's more pliable. You can get stuff that's PLO, like that's what Legos are made out of.
Oh, okay.
You can get a lot of different stuff.
So you make your own Legos, folks.
Yeah, you can. Well, I remember you were intent. Like I kept telling you, like I can just let you have this 3D printer, or you can use it for a while because you want a 3D print thing. But you insist that it needs to be a resin printer, which
Oh, me, yeah. Yeah, well, me, because just says all the plans and stuff like that are all pretty much like better with resin, just because the print layers and the quality of like the, because all that support stuff is something I need. Supposedly, there's a lot of good programs to do that on your own and stuff like that. I just haven't fucked around with it yet.
yeah. I don't know, I'd have to print you. Like maybe I'll print you a Baby Yoda, and maybe you can like paint it up and see how well it paints up.
Yeah.
It's a good
No,
one.
because I talk about doing stuff like sanding it down too, because that can help the layers not show.
Well, yeah.
But obviously, that That would get rid of the cloth detail a little bit too, though.
Yeah, but like a thing you can do to kind of get rid of the layers is you can put it. It's called you put it in a bucket with acetone at the bottom of it, and you just let it sit in there for like 30 seconds, and it'll essentially just kind of melt the thing, but it'll come out smooth. So it'll eradicate some of the layers. But if you put it in too long, it'll just melt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was me trying to help, doctors and stuff, but
Well, that's nice
looks
of
like
you.
I'm not going to be able to. Well, also I didn't have there's a lot of things I didn't have. I didn't have the bands. I don't have the plastic, the clear plastic stuff. Because what you're doing is just printing face shields for them to wear over their stuff currently.
Yep.
And I don't even know what they do with it. It's like at the end of the day, they just throw that away. Like I'm assuming they do, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And then like to send it to them, you'd have to like ensure that they're like disinfected to get there. So like there's a whole process I'm just like unaware, but I'm trying. Because I know there's a company here. There's a couple of companies here that have a bunch of 3D printers. They're already doing this stuff. Like there's a guy had a video on Facebook, and they had like 3 different prototypes where they're printing like the face mask stuff, the face mask ones like I'm doing, and then they had like a kind of an in between one where it had a different thing, and then the last one they had where it was just super cheap, where it was just foam stapled to the face shield with a rubber band on it, and you just put it over their head, and like it works. So it's like they should just make those.
Yeah, that's what Ford's doing for Henry Ford Hospital and U of M. Is they have like industrial scale 3D printers.
Yeah,
and they're just printing the. They can actually print the clear part too, right? No, I think they just extrude that, but yeah, they're printing out like 100,000 of them a day or something.
Yeah, the most I could do in a day is like 10. So
yeah, they're.
I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess. But
Yeah, no, it's still good.
that's something I wish I would have invested in though around here is helicopter aviation fuel, because the big place where they refuel helicopters is right by my house, and all the Life Flight helicopters, you hear them all night because U of M has 7. I think Henry Ford and Detroit Receiving probably have 12 between them. All they're doing is flying Life Flight helicopters all the time around here. And you hear them all day and all night. Sometimes there's like 2 in a row. And but I know they have to go to Willow Run to refuel. It's like, man, I bet you that's what does it cost to refuel one of those things? I mean, U of M has Life Flight jets. Like they're just Lear jets or something.
Huh.
That they can put like 5 beds in and they can land somewhere. And because I remember one of those went down like 5 years ago. They were going to the UP to get someone, and they flew over the Great Lakes, and they just lost them. They just like, where did they go? And they finally found them a couple months later. They crashed into the woods, and it was one of their Life Flight jets.
Oh, wow.
So that was the Great Lakes are terrifying. They're a navigation. It's like the Bermuda Triangle of the North, because they lose ships there, they lose aircraft there. They don't know exactly why. I mean, it has something to do with disorientation and getting lost over water, but
weather, magnetic fields, and stuff like that.
Yeah, but with GPS and Loran, it shouldn't really affect that.
Yeah.
It's UFOs. It's Sasquatch. That's what makes it fun. I like the weird deaths I hear about on the Great Lakes, like the guy who put the roof on our house. His son died because he got drunk. And Lake Michigan, I think, or Lake Huron, one of them freezes over, and you can literally walk to Canada. And that's always something fun people like to do. Well, I guess his son got drunk and went out, and I guess it wasn't all frozen. They found him when he thawed under the ice, like months later. No one knew what happened to him. It's like he just took off. We never saw him again, and they found him in the spring, frozen in the ice. Like, well, that's horrifying. That's a great story to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he liked to drink. It's like, okay. He did. But yeah, well, that's fun. Fun ways to die near water. Don't get drunk near water or train tracks. I've figured that one out.
So what you're saying is, if I get really drunk, don't drink water. Okay.
Yeah. Don't take a bath. Don't get all hammered and decide, a warm bath would be great. And then they're like, they found him drowned in the tub.
The only thing I'm gonna drown myself in is a bunch of plastic to make my fears and anxieties go away.
That's true. That helps.
And Tamiya paint.
I've been doing a lot of that.
I don't really have a lot. I mean, I guess I'm sure there's hobby shops around here that have Tamiya paint, but I don't own any. It's all Vallejo, P3, and Citadel.
My hobby shop's been closed for a month.
Oh, mine's still open. I just went there the other day. So he was pissed because he doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to explain the business loan thing for the bailout and also like the way the grant system works in Iowa.
Okay.
So if you own a small business in Iowa, you can have 2 grants. One's for anywhere. The first one, the biggest one, is $10,000 to $25,000, and obviously no interest. You don't pay it back, anything like that. But you have to have at least 2 employees. But all of his employees are 1099 employees, so they're basically contractors. So he doesn't qualify for that. And then the second one's a smaller one where you get $5,000 to $10,000, which is still very much needed by him. You don't have to have employees, but you have to be a woman, a minority, or a disabled person. So he's a white male. What?
Couldn't he fall down his
What?
steps?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I told him he should. He said I told him, I joked with him when I was there for a couple hours the other day talking to him. It's like, oh, you've always said you felt like a woman, right? Like, transgender is a thing now. You can definitely say that.
So if a white guy owns a business in Iowa and it doesn't have a bunch of employees, he can't get anything?
No, because the other 2 options are the loans that they had in the bailout.
Uh-huh.
The first one's like 3.5% interest, so not horrible, but most banks still won't do it because they have to front all the money and they don't have any money supposedly. And the second one can be treated as a grant, and this one actually has things so you can add on employees, but you have to keep until the end of this year, December 31st. And he was going to do that, but the problem with that is no bank will do it because they only collect 1% interest on it, and it's counted as a grant if you actually use all the money on rent, utilities, business expenses, and employee salaries. So he was thinking about doing that, but no bank will touch it because they're not going to make any money, and they hold all the obligation basically until the grant's over, the loan's over. So he basically has to like stay open, and he bought a bunch of stock before everything went to shit, and you can't get anything anymore. So he's hoping he can keep things going until everything turns back on, basically. So I stopped by and dropped like $140 yesterday just to try and keep him open. I'll probably keep pumping a couple $100 a month into there until he either closes or everything comes back open, I guess. Well, I offered to also pump my cock into his asshole, but he said no. So I mean,
Whoa.
I mean, we have a pretty good relationship. I don't know.
That might make
No, I mean, I usually spend a couple $100. Well, he's that kind of guy. No, yeah, he's actually. I talked to. Oh shit! Guess I didn't realize my computer went down, so I don't have any light now. I actually talked to a nurse yesterday because I talked to a flight nurse for a helicopter crew and talked to a nurse from Sioux City that was moving back to Wisconsin on Wednesday and talking about all the shit going on and like how things are right now. And they all seem to be pretty positive about the new test coming out as far as like the blood antibody test that you're going to be able to do now because the FDA approved that yesterday. And then just, the 5-minute test or whatever is going to be approved soon or out soon. So hopefully that should get more people tested and in the clear. So, yay.
Yeah, they want to. What is our pediatrician called us? And they want to. Remember when my son was in the hospital, like in December?
Yeah, when he broke his. Wait, no.
No. He had pneumonia so bad, his pulse ox got so low that it was like, oh shit, something's really wrong with him, And they said, well, it's just pneumonia. Remember, we had to go fight with him about. It's like, well, you got to do something for him. Just saying he's pneumonia and his pulse ox is 90% is not acceptable to us. It's like bad people. But now they think he might have had some other form of it. It's just like, oh, okay. But they don't have the antibody test around here yet.
Oh, that's what my hobby shop owner was saying because he said he had a kid playing Yu-Gi-Oh in around the beginning of January, and he said that he had come back from vacation in China and he felt kind of weird and kind of sickly, and then a week later he had the flu-like symptoms, shortness of breath, felt really weak, and almost ended up going to the emergency room. But then it took him like 2 weeks to get over it, and then he's like, "Yeah, I bet it was it," or whatever. And it's like, okay, like, yeah,
That could be.
but
Might have been.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
mean-
great thing about this is you can just speculate, and it's probably true.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Nobody
you're in an
nobody can go
information
back in time and
vacuum.
test
So,
them, so,
yeah.
oh well.
It's nice to see all these FDA things being fast-tracked by the Trump administration. Nothing ever could go wrong there.
No.
Nope, they're tight there.
I mean, all you got to do is look at what a good job they've done with everything else and just walk forth with confidence.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was surprising yesterday. I talked to a bunch of people for a couple hours about just everybody being really pro-Trump and saying that they all agree that he botched the beginning, but he's doing a really good job now. And it's like, based on what metric?
Yeah, he only fucked up the most important part, but you know what he's doing. I mean, this is what people they don't get it, because you gotta pay attention. I don't know if you notice these, because he's the master of TV. He's the ultimate master of ceremony. He's having these press conferences right during the prime time where people watch the news, like at 5, 6 o'clock or whatever. These press conferences are going on 3 hours. So they're blocking out all the local channels. So Trump can be on basically every news channel having his presser. And it's basically him blaming people and saying, well, that's a nasty question. You asked that in a nasty way. You're a horrible person.
Or inviting somebody on who will spend 10 minutes congratulating and thanking President Trump.
My pillow guy is here to push through the fucking
That's how I know we're gonna
pandemic.
be safe. The My Pillow guy.
Yeah.
Because he's going to talk about how America's turned away from God, and that's why we're in our fucking shit show right now.
That's the only problem.
I mean,
No,
he's supposed to be printing masks with his factory, right? That was like the good thing he's doing. But
Supposed to be, but I think it was.
He laid off like a shit ton of people here yesterday. He laid off like most of his.
It's gonna be okay. They're just gonna go home and pray about it. They'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Pray the
No, I was
taxes
gonna.
away.
Yeah,
I was gonna say today. Did anybody see Trump's response when the reporter asked him point blank, and it's like, "Oh, do you think your response time was slowed by your fact you were being impeached at the time?" And he basically came out and said, "It's like, oh, do you want me to say that? Like, I don't think I was really distracted by the impeachment, but I guess maybe I was, or whatever."
Yeah, well, it's like if you.
I waved to shift the blame.
Listen to him talk for any amount of time, the way that he structures his sentences, he'll say something that he doesn't know a thing about, and then he'll qualify it with maybe or probably. So if later it's not right, you can. Oh well, I don't. I said probably.
Well, yeah, this is why he doesn't get in trouble with anything, because it's like he's never intentionally doing anything wrong because he's too stupid to know if he is or not.
Yeah, he doesn't know enough about anything. He just gives like broad like you're like, oh yeah, this could be it. Like he was talking about like pandemics or whatever, and he couldn't come up with the 1918 like pandemic or the Spanish flu or anything. He just like, yeah, that thing back in 19 whatever probably wasn't as big as this, and it's like, what? It's like, no, shut the hell up. Like he has no business talking about that.
Died.
Yeah. He doesn't know anything about anything. He does those press conferences like you're saying because he wants airtime, and it's replacing his rallies that he gets his attention from. So that's basically it. He's talking about his ratings and how they're better than The Bachelor. Who gives a shit? Like nobody cares about that. That's not what we're concerned about right now.
Yeah, no one's burying their mom in the backyard. Like, well, I'm glad Trump's ratings.
Yeah, I mean, my mom died, but The Bachelor, that took a hit, so that's good. But yeah, and he's talking about being like, his Facebook scores or whatever. It's like, get a grip, dude. Like, this guy is such an attention whore. Like, all he cares about is attention. That's all he wants. He doesn't care about anything else but himself. So, like, screw that guy. Like, like that guy.
My favorite was when he was attacking Joe Biden for getting his son a job. And I will say that Joe Biden thing's kind of weird because it's like they went and did a thing, and this was just a nonpartisan, but it's just like, this is an interesting fact of how many people's kids got jobs at Ukrainian firms and either oil or gas production things or whatever. And it's actually pretty astounding. There's actually a lot of kids in the Democratic Party whose kids got
Sure.
jobs at these, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's probably something weird. And then there stands his daughter and his son-in-law behind him, like in charge of this response somehow. It's like, what much
Yeah.
working at a Ukrainian oil firm than being in, I'd rather have Jared Kushner working with the Ukrainians than working at trying to.
Yeah, he needs to go away. He has no business running anything in the government. He's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know anything. Like, that guy needs to go. They all need to go. But, like, yeah, he has no qualification to have the security clearance he has and do anything. Like, he was really busy working on Middle East peace, so he couldn't really focus on COVID-19. But now that he can,
Now that
because
he's
the
back.
Middle East, wait a second. Like, that guy's
But did he bother to look at Iran? Because their response is far better than ours.
Yeah,
Of course,
Probably
their
not,
response
'cause
their response can be wielded with weapons against their
Yeah.
populace. So
true. They have a
Yeah,
little
the
bit
most
more.
effective cure for COVID-19 is an AK-47 into a crowd. That seriously reduces the numbers of infected. Just fire into a crowd. I hear North Korea. Do they have any cases yet?
Well,
none reported.
yeah. Luckily, the great leader Kim Jong Un, his tears cure it, so that's good. You don't have to worry about it.
Well,
They're
good.
not going to report any cases. But yeah.
Nothing a heavy dose of lead can't cure.
Yeah, well, they got the kind that, like I said a few podcasts ago, it manifests itself as a bullet hole in your head. Like, that's how it kills. That's its operation. It just suddenly a bullet hole appears in your forehead and your brains explode out of the back of your head. It's like, that's a virus? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty weird.
That's weird shit, man. That's some crazy shit.
And also it makes the rest of your family disappear too.
Yeah. Your family just incinerates too. Did you see that picture down in Sao Paulo, Brazil, where they had the grave digging machines? And they had, like, someone took a drone and sent it up. It was like 10,000 graves dug perfectly by this giant grave digging machine or something. It's like, yeah, that's a good sign.
Well, anybody hear about the stupid? I hear about this on Facebook, and it kind of made me go, "What the fuck? Why would anybody start this fucking bullshit?"
Russian.
That they're no, like the U.S. is fraudulently expanding their deaths and coronavirus death toll by claiming other people, like people that died by suicide or car accident, died of the coronavirus or whatever.
Sounds like something
Which-
Russians would say.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, I don't know
Guy
about
in
the.
California, the train driver
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that drove towards the hospital ship.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the FBI said he had a flare in his hand, and because they have in-cab cameras, and he had a flare in his hand. He was like yelling, like "Ah!" It's like, this is the coolest guy ever, because he says it's all fake, and there's nothing on that hospital ship but body.
It's like the conspiracy theory version of that Denzel Washington movie where he's on the train that won't stop. I just can't think of what it's called right now. but-
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Yeah, there you go. This unstoppable government hoax, according to that guy. So he tried, but the train didn't get close enough.
Yeah, I'm glad that
is this called?
that unstable are in charge of like multi-million ton machines that can do horrible damage. With a
They really missed the mark with that unstoppable tagline for that movie. They should have called it the D Train.
What was that thing really called? The Crazy Eights or something? Because that really happened. Not quite like the movie depicted it,
Yeah.
but they did have somebody like turn the train on and got out of it, or something, had a heart attack or something, and the train just kept rolling. And it's
Yeah.
like, how do you stop those without it? Can't you remotely stop? Well, no. If we did that, they'd hack into it and stop all our trains. Russians.
Just gonna start saying that for random things like, "Honey, why isn't dinner ready?" Russians.
Russians.
Why do you keep drinking? Russian.
Find the loaf of bread. The Russians are in there.
I told you to get the Russian dressing for the salad. Where is it? The Russian.
It's like, why do you keep not going to work and drinking all day? Russians. That's totally why I'm doing that.
Makes sense.
But no, did anybody else catch any new movies recently? Because I know I watched a bunch this week, just because, not because I'm necessarily in quarantine, but because I didn't have a lot to do.
I
So-
bought a bunch and I didn't watch them. Here are all the
Oh.
movies I bought and haven't watched yet: Bloodshot, Doctor Sleep, 1917, Parasite.
Parasite.
I've
Yeah,
seen
that South Korean movie
Yeah.
that won Best Picture.
that's a good
Okay.
movie. I've seen that. Yeah.
I'm waiting for the
Parasite's
dub
good.
version.
Dumb. Nobody else watched Rise of Skywalker yet because that
Hey,
was
why-
pretty.
I saw it in theaters.
Why
Yeah.
I talked about it.
I want to talk about something about the Academy Awards stuff. Why didn't Parasite get hacked for the lack of racial diversity in their cast? Can anyone answer that question for me? I'm just curious.
Why wasn't there
Because-
one white
because-
person playing?
Because from their perspective, it's 100% diverse.
Well,
Zero. It's all Korean.
Yeah, but that means there's no white people in it, so it's
Where's the
100%
white
diverse.
lady that's going to tell them this is how you do it and make cobbler? Because that happens in Korea a lot. Or maybe it does. I don't know. It's a strange place. I was stunned by the lack of diversity in that cast. It's not acceptable. I go on a Twitter rant.
You should write a strongly worded letter.
I should. Go on Twitter. Express my weird racism.
God, I keep getting emails from Jared Leto that not to join his cult that he started, but
Jared
but
Leto
just for
started a cult?
yes, it's
Really?
on an island only white women can join, and you have to pay.
He looks like Jesus, so people worship him.
Yeah,
Is he actually a
You
part
have
of
to-
it, or is this a joke?
No,
I don't think it's a joke.
No, because that was the thing. He like went away to essentially meditate, and he came back, and then he learned about coronavirus, and he's like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Oh, okay.
Because there's that, and there's like the two different versions of Big Brother that happened. There was like Big Brother Germany and Big Brother Brazil, where like everybody was in there and they have no outside contact with the world, and they decided to tell them what's going on, and they're like all shocked.
They get out and it's like 28 days later. There's no one anywhere. It's like, what the hell's going on? What point was I going to make? Oh, I forget. Yeah, movies you bought and haven't seen.
Yeah.
Mm.
I tried to watch something this week that I was excited about, and after 4 episodes, my excitement was quelled. Tales from the Loop.
Oh, that
Oh.
came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that on the thing and I didn't watch it, but I didn't know if it was good or not. So
I'm gonna tell you what it is. It is beautifully shot and well acted. It is such a test of patience, and I'm not usually one that says that because I'm willing to be patient with movies and TV shows and stuff. But this is like really like, why are we focusing on this guy's face for 30 seconds and there's no dialogue and there's nothing really happening, either to
Mhm.
him or anyone around him? We're just doing lots of long shots. It's a very complicated story. They're all strung together. It's kind of like Dark in a way, that German
Okay.
TV show on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Because there's
Yep.
elements of that involved in it too, time travel and stuff, and it's very sad and poignant, but it's like it is really testing your patience. I'm only 4 in, so I kind of
how
had
many episodes are there?
8.
Hmm.
And then I went down a Dev's wormhole and never really came back. Tales from the Loop.
Yeah, because that's only like 45 minutes, and it doesn't feel like it with no commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going through that, and I was going through season 3 of Castlevania at like the same time,
Oh, okay.
which that's really
Yeah.
good.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say that was really good too. That's all. I was gonna say.
Did you watch all of it? Because I haven't seen all. Of
Yeah, I
season
watched. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I watched every episode of Castlevania. That was pretty awesome.
'Cause season 3 is pretty interesting because season 1 and 2 are kind of like immediately action packed. Like here's the violence, here's the action, and even there's that great part in like maybe the second to last episode of season 2 where they have like the Castlevania music remix. And it's just awesome. And then the third season is like real interesting because it feels actually like a first season of a series because it's really a slow build. You like nothing's really going on yet, and it's just kind of just like has all the players and like what's going on, and nothing's happened yet. So it's like real interesting, like divergent from the first 2 seasons. But I haven't finished that yet. But I've been watching it like as I go to sleep because I haven't really been watching too many things. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts,
Yeah.
and And then I've been playing a lot of video games. Mostly the Warzone on
Call of Duty.
Yeah, Modern Warfare. I like that because I let my PlayStation, because I got it on PlayStation, so I let that one lapse. But Warzone's free, so I have that on Xbox, and it brings over my. But you sign in through Activision, so all my progress it brings over to Warzone. So I've been playing that nonstop. Well, I guess I stop. There's there's basically mini achievements inside it, and I always try to go for those goals. Once I hit those goals, I stop for the day. Resident Evil 3 came out. I played all of that yesterday and beat it. I really liked it, but it's like 6-hour game for $60. So.
That's
$10
an hour for
yeah, which isn't bad. I don't know. It's not as good as the Resident Evil 2 remake they did last year, but it's still fun. The thing about Resident Evil 3, the original one, was that it was more of an action game. It had this cool element. It was like, here's this one character you can't really kill, and he's going to chase you throughout the entire game. That was kind of an interesting concept, especially at the time. But not many people played that game because it came out at the end of the PlayStation 1 cycle, in '99. And they already had in between they had 2 Dino Crisis video games, which is essentially just Resident Evil with dinosaurs. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Dino Crisis.
Oh, Dino Crisis 3 is fucked up because they what if we had dinosaurs in space with rocket ships? That game is fucking stupid as shit.
It sounds amazing. I'd say that.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing, but it's also because who the fuck would make that?
It'd appeal to my 3-year-old son. He'd love that too.
Yeah.
He just got a dinosaur mask today that when he opens his mouth, it does the Velociraptor sound, and he's been doing that all night.
But yeah, I really like it. It looks really good. It's just not as good as the Resident Evil 2 remake they did, but I liked it. But also the ending's great because every Resident Evil game ends the same way, where you get to this final giant boss that you kind of shoot a bunch of times, and then eventually a cutscene happens, and some character throws you a giant weapon that you use to actually destroy the final boss. And the final weapon here is just fucking great. Because usually they just hand you a rocket launcher and then you blow up the, whatever the thing is. And you're fighting this thing that's literally just a giant wall of flesh and it's trying to kill you. But you happen to be in a room with an experimental railgun.
Nice.
And then you pick up, it's a railgun she can pick up, which is it's 8 feet long, but she just picks it up like it's nothing. But all the entire room is a power source to this one gun. So you have to shoot it 3 times, and then you have to reconfigure the power unit to shoot it again while it's trying to attack you, and then eventually you just blow a giant hole in it. It's a fucking great ending. Which I can't remember how the original Resident Evil 3 ended, but I think it was probably. I don't think he used a railgun, but he probably just threw a giant bomb at the weird nemesis creature. So. But anyways, yeah, so I played through Resident Evil 3. I've been playing through some more of Doom Eternal. I finally just knocked it down to the easiest difficulty, so I got frustrated. And I was actually getting, because I was playing on the second to hardest difficulty, and I was getting through the levels, but I wanted to do the extra stuff, and all the extra stuff was too hard. And it's just hard to juggle all the stuff. And then I just threw it on easy, and I was just having a fun time. It's oh yeah, now I don't lose. I don't have to reset. I don't have to restart my progress. I can just go through the game. And this probably isn't how it was intended. Well, it'd probably be funner if I had more, because you gain abilities as you go through. So I imagine once you finish the game and you have all the abilities, it would probably make more sense to then play it on a harder difficulty.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Doom Eternal. And then what else have I been playing? Oh, Animal Crossing. I got that for the Switch. So it's the first Animal Crossing game I've ever played. It's essentially kind of like The Sims, but with cute Nintendo creatures.
I hear a lot of people are playing that right now because everyone's stuck at home. So there's a lot of people doing that.
Well, I guess the interesting thing about it is that you can't really just keep playing it. Is that it's because the day you play it once a day, essentially. You do all the things you can't do in a one day, and then you just pack it up because it has a real time thing in it. So things change in real time. So like certain stores only open in the daytime, so like you literally have to like play it in the daytime.
Or you
like-
can't go to that store. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's sort of interesting. Some people you can fuck with the internal clock, and then that changes the game. But I don't want to do that.
Seems like a lot of work.
Yeah. I don't know. Andrew, have you been playing any games?
I just thought Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer and some more Hearts of Iron 4 because I bought more of the DLC for that because they came out with more of that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, other than that, I played Animal Crossing once on the GameCube, and I wasn't like a huge fan, so I'm not really gonna get invested into that.
Yeah.
I heard Resident Evil 3 was good, but also super short, so not gonna buy that. And
I mean, 6 hours is like that's pretty long. I mean, I sat down the whole day and played that, so it seems short to me. But you could probably finish it over the weekend if you played it under reasonable hours.
Oh. No, I mean, I've just been having a lot of fun with Modern Warfare. I've been thinking about Warzone, like trying it, but the one friend I usually game with, like, he has no interest in it, so I don't know if doing it solo is like a good idea or not.
See, you can do solo matches where everybody's on their own team.
Oh, okay.
So that makes it easy. Yeah, because there's times where you roll up on somebody. It's like, I got this guy dead to rights, and then you shoot him, and then two of his buddies come out of nowhere. I was like, well, I'm fucked. Or
I guess there's oh, sorry.
Well, the funny thing about it is, like, actually the deadliest weapon in the game is a car.
Yeah, because you can just get in and run over people.
Yeah, you could, like, so if you're in a car, they can shoot the driver dead, but like for some reason, like it just never registers. So you have to like, there's a really small window to like shoot the driver dead. But if they tap you with the car, you explode. You're instantly dead if they tap you with the car, which is completely ridiculous. Or it's even funner with the helicopter, is that you can just like chew people up with the rotor blades. Like you can just dip down and hit them with the rotor blades and they're dead, and the helicopter still keeps going.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen plenty of replay videos of people just ramming helicopters and people are landing on them. And the same thing with, I guess, there's like a community achievement where people just do a knife run where they don't use anything besides throwing knives and combat knives, and they try and get the win. And I've seen a couple of playthroughs of that, and it's pretty impressive. You don't get like a lot of kills or anything, but
No.
you're pretty sneaky and pretty good at it though. Otherwise, so
I mean, that stuff can be frustrating because there are definitely like times where you go through, and there's like kind of a long setup because it's 150 people on a map.
Yeah.
But actually, there's like a pre-level thing where it's like before the level starts, they parachute you in, and you just like it's a free for all. And if you kill anybody in that free for all, it actually counts towards your progress. So any gun you use is progress on the gun. Any kills you get, that's progress on your overall level. So that's kind of interesting. So at least you can get some kills. But yeah, sometimes you'll just go in a map, you'll spend like 10 minutes like rooting around, not finding anybody, and then somebody just shoots you in the back and you're dead. But here they have interesting things. So instead of if you die, your game isn't over yet. So what you do is you die, and like they throw you in a gulag, and then all the people have died recently. They put them together in this shower, and they give you a pistol, and like two of you, there's a countdown, and two of you have to like try to kill each other, and whoever wins that gets to go back into the game.
Okay, I have a question quick about the gulag.
Yeah.
There is a way how to like be good at Warzone where they came out with it the first week it was out. You could spray paint people in the gulag so they're more visible when you fight them. Is that still a thing people are trying to do? Or like people go around and spray paint you while you're waiting to fight?
I haven't seen that happen. I don't know why that would necessarily make you more visible, because there's all these walls in your way. So when you see somebody, you can't hide from the person.
Oh, because they were like going up behind people while they were watching other people fight, and they were like spray painting because the spray paint's like pink and yellow.
Yeah.
So basically, if you like get enough on them, like it's a darker, and everybody's kind of more in earth tones and stuff. You can kind of pick them out better. So I mean, I don't know if it's actually effective or not. But
I have a character with like a blue bandana on, and she's black. So I mean, like, people can see me immediately. I don't really care about that. I'm not trying to play camouflage. The fucked up thing that happened to me is like, so in the gulag, you have two people fighting, and then it's kind of there's people in the upper level, and you just look down on the fight, and they give you rocks, and you can throw the rocks at people, and if you hit them in the head, it'll take them 1 health point down. And I got in a fight, and then like I was hitting a corner, and some guy threw a rock on my head, and I died from that rock. And like, what the fuck happened? Did the guy who threw the rock get to go back into the game, or did the guy I was fighting get the win and he got to go back in the game? I have no idea. That was the most unlucky thing I've ever happened in that game. It was like one of the fucking prisoners killed me with a rock. That's fucking impossible. But yeah, I don't know. One cool thing that can happen is you can call in a loadout, or they'll just drop in randomly throughout the map, because you can see them on the map. They point them out to you, and then so you can just, like, any loadout you have, you just pick it and go, complete with perks and stuff, because you don't get any perks normally throughout the game. But if you get a loadout, then you have perks. So one of the loadouts I have is like the Gal 5.56. So I have that with like a 60 round mag on it, so I can just like keep firing at people. And then I have a rocket launcher as my secondary, so to take out vehicles. And then I have that one. There's that one perk where if somebody has you in their sights and you're not looking in the direction, it flashes on the screen, which is really helpful in a mode where you don't know where anybody's coming from. And then I have a heartbeat sensor, and so you can get that for close, and that's like, it's like almost cheating to have all that stuff.
Yeah, because they said in Warzone people don't take like Ghost and Cold-Blooded very much. So basically you can use UAVs or like heartbeat sensors and shit to like actually spot them pretty well.
Yeah. But yeah, there's some matches where I just immediately die, and there's some matches where I killed like 10 people, and I was like, how the fuck did that happen? I remember this one match I don't know how lucky I got. There's like 3 different times, and it was like in a very quick succession where somebody shot me in the back, and I just flipped around and just emptied my clip into them and killed them. And it was like, and which never happens. Like, once somebody gets a beat on you, you're pretty much dead. You're a little bit more robust in Warzone because you have plates. You have plates, which kind of acts like shields and what's that game? Is it Anthem?
Apex Legends.
Apex, yeah. So it's kind of like shield. Well, I guess Fortnite has shields as well. So it kind of acts like shield. So like those shields go down first, and then your health goes down, and then you can refill the shields if you have some. So yeah. So video games. I know we're boring Nathan and Matt here. So.
Oh no, that's fine.
Oh no, you're fine. I'm listening. I don't play video games, so I don't have much to talk about.
Yeah, no. It's why I don't talk about video games on here too much.
That's okay.
We get it. You have a child. Quit bragging.
Yeah.
You can't afford an Xbox. You have to pay for daycare.
Yeah, that's fun right now. You pay for them not to go. It's a good time.
Yeah, I think they should kind of abolish that right now since they can't go there anyway. It's kind of horse shit. I know it's keeping the daycares open, but they can get business loans and other shit, so fuck them.
Yeah, I thought
like I said earlier, just wave a pistol around, let them know who's in charge.
Apparently, it's the cops.
But no, it's
yeah. Just
should
tell
we
the
get
cop when he comes up, it's like call an ambulance for yourself.
That was
that'll
being stupid. I like that. Though. That's funny. Call an ambulance. You're gonna need it. Why? Well, you'll see.
Did you just threaten a police officer? No, I didn't threaten you.
Trying to help, dude.
I threatened a theoretical police officer with a theoretical weapon.
This is all a thought experiment.
Still part of the game. Oh.
Were we supposed to do a bug out bag for this week? Because I didn't see that on the email.
No, because I didn't know who was actually going to be on the show this week, so I took all that stuff off. Because I also took that book review off, which you guys might as well talk about that now because I'm never going to get that book review. I think Nathan and you are probably going to forget what it's even about, so we better do it now. Oh, they did come with that. Was it Astartes or whatever that came out with a new episode, the Warhammer animation.
Yeah, because that guy's channel actually got hijacked, so I'm surprised he actually got it back and got the video up. So good that he got that done. I know he's asking for Patreon support and stuff, but I don't know how. I don't know. I guess I don't know how long it takes him to make that or how resource intensive that
Oh, it's
video
on 6
is.
episodes. I remember the first episode and this episode. They're all really well done, but
Oh yeah, they're fucking amazing. They're really well done. I'm pretty sure it's a one guy effort, or maybe two,
yeah,
three. But
no, it's one guy, but he might get some support for some stuff because there's no voice acting in it, so it's all pretty much animation.
I was actually looking at the notes for the last episode, like the translation of what some of the people were saying, and it was like, oh, okay, that makes the video make more sense.
Oh, is there dialogue?
Yeah, there's dialogue, but it's like the orbs talking,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
just saying like the Astartes are here and like oh, we should, because the two orbs, the one that's chained up and the one that's in the facility, are talking to each other. And so, like, the Inquisitor is getting corrupted by it, and the Inquisitor is basically telling them as he dies and gets his head blown off that, hey, you guys, watch, like, we're under attack, get everybody back or whatever. And then he gets his fucking head blown off. And then the other orb sucks him up because they're trying to corrupt and, like, pull all the Astartes in and kill them all. So it was kind of interesting reading that because I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I kind of got the gist of that from watching the video, but it explains a lot more now.
What was the dude with the red eye? Was that about anything or?
Oh, for the
one
mean
space. There's a space marine that has like a red eye.
Oh, that's just like their tack lens and stuff like that. So it just
okay.
like sees through buildings or like heat and vision and shit like that. But no, like as far as the book goes, I mean, Nathan, you read it all, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too. I mean, it's the last book I read still, but it's been a while. So the Adeptus Sororitas are basically just, it's all the Space Marines and then Imperial Guard and the Sororitas are all part of the Imperium. Same thing with Adeptus Mechanicus. And they all serve the God Emperor, which is at this point a corpse connected to a bunch of cables on a throne that's psychic and can do shit across the universe. And so the Battle Sisters believe in basically everybody has vows of integrity and very super, like everybody calls him the God Emperor, but he doesn't want to be called a god because he says that's heresy and he kills you for it. So I don't know what the hell that's about. But everybody, I mean, as far as like, because they even mentioned that in the book, the Adeptus Sororitas is what the Battle Sisters are called, and then the Space Marines, they kind of have like a choosing or like a purge type of action where they like go around local communities and just like take the young or take whoever wants to join, and they put them under gene therapy and all these training programs, and whoever survives the culling and all this other shit becomes battle brothers or battle sisters, and they all join different companies, and there's so many companies and so many, special weapon slots for each company and all this other shit, there's designations. But that's pretty much how everything's run. This world is very much, it's supposed to be a world for everybody to join, but it's like a mysterious world that's shrouded in a bunch of mystical powers nobody seems to understand. And the book does a really good job of painting that picture as far as like a bunch of weird shit going on and psychedelic crap. And I thought it was a pretty good book, especially for not having a lot of lore. Reading a lot of lore into the Adeptus Sororitas made me actually want to read more about that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, Nathan, did you like any part of that book, or were you just kind of like trying to pull things together and try to imagine the universe?
Well, there's two ways I could read this book when I was sitting there reading it. It's like, well, I can go try to research all this stuff, which I didn't do. Well, I mean, I know some things about it, but very thin. But I sort of read it like an H.P. Lovecraft novel, because this book seemed to have elements of that. Like, it's like what you call philosophical horror almost.
Yeah.
Like, it's an internal fight about good against evil set in this kind of bizarre universe. And I never really understood how people functioned in this universe. It's like, it doesn't seem like a universe you can really cleanly function in, because there's so much, between... I mean, you've got this complicated thing with you're constantly being assaulted by alien enemies, and then you have, basically religious fanatics that worship the emperor, and so this book did a good job of like, oh, this is how characters might function and talk in this world, where it seems like you have to guard your words, and everything's based on martial combat skills and stuff like that, that's a big part of the game. So I
Yeah.
it's more as like a Lovecraft novel, just set in this universe where we're going to talk about, the existential horror, and we're going to kind of make mockery of the religious stuff, but in a way that's what would it be? It's like we're going to pretend to be pure, but then there's this horrible, like, almost satanic rituals being hallucinated at the same time on this boat. And so it was kind of interesting. I will say, because I'm not embedded in this universe, I sort of had to read it abstractly, but I enjoyed it. I mean, I read the whole book. But,
yeah, I mean, I don't think it would necessarily be off or be up someone's alley if they don't really know about 40K, but it doesn't alienate people that read it because it tries to paint a picture that's not somebody that needs a bunch of lore behind it, a bunch of knowledge about the universe. But at the same time, I mean, it's basically there's 4 chaos gods. One's about excess and lust and all other shit. And that's Slaanesh, so it's just a bunch of tits and tentacles everywhere and cocks in your face.
Yeah.
And then there's Khorne, which is the blood and skull god. So he just wants everybody to kill each other endlessly for his entertainment. And then there's Nurgle, which was featured in that book because that's the god of rot and decay and pestilence. And so that's where all his, like all the plague flies and all the zombies and shit are his people. And there's Zeech, which is like the god of change, which is like basically a giant LSD trip with like bird beaks and wings and weird shit going on. But yeah, I mean, they talked about the spires and stuff being... they're space elves, which they're Aldari, and so they basically were a civilization that got so out of control from just excess and thinking they're the king shit and do no wrong and conquering the universe that they summoned the god Slaanesh to their capital city, and now they're a dying race because they're just kind of running all around trying to survive, and they basically trying to God damn it, what's the word? Trying to avoid the warp or the psychic energy that all these chaos gods, and because that's how you space travel in this universe. You don't use FTL drives, you use psychic energy to create warp tunnels and then go through them. And so like whole legions are lost into like a chaos universe for what to them feels like 2,000 years, but it was really 5 minutes. And they come back out all fucking warped and heresy and like killing everybody. And it's kind of interesting as far as that stuff goes. But there's a bunch of fucking shit. Like, that universe, like, everybody, all the Imperial citizens, there's like 80 billion people in the size of New York, and they're all living off, like, corpse protein and bugs. And they all work with radioactive poison. They live to the ripe old age of, like, 24. And they have to, like, endlessly fight wars against themselves and countless, like, horrible, like, trillions of bugs trying to bite their heads off and burn their worlds for natural resources. That kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's not a very positive universe. But yeah, when I chose that book, I was trying to do a more entry level thing, but like I said before, it was all that shit's like fucking, oh, you want to pay $400 for a book? Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Everybody buy a copy of that $400 book and we'll talk about it for 1 week on a podcast.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the stuff I read. It was like well written. It's just like because I was moving and all this other stuff, I just didn't get into it.
No, that's fine.
I just didn't make a chore out. It's like because it'd be easy, like I'll just read 1 chapter a day, but I just end up never doing it. So that's my bad.
Yeah, it seems like it's very much a Lovecraft story, just with very richly woven characters with full backgrounds. But it's also functioning in a world that's very strange and hard to understand, but not written that way. It's pretty well written. It's just like, oh, why are they reacting this way? Oh, this is why. Okay, and this is this is what it means, and so yeah, it helps to have an outline of that universe. It's not necessarily necessary, but makes more sense.
Yeah,
this is part of a whole larger arc of novels called the Dark Scroll.
Well, this one just kind of like a one-off because everybody that reads those Black Library books, because all the people at the shop, like, they didn't know I actually hadn't read one before. And these one-off ones are usually horror, and it's always chaos. So everybody's pissed when those come out because nobody wants to buy them because they're pissed that it's always the same goddamn story over and over again, the chaos demon or some other shit, and it's a horror novel. So, I mean, I thought it was pretty good for what it was, but like all the other ones are focusing on like one guy or one captain or whatever and following him through multiple stories and timelines.
Okay.
So, I mean, but those are the ones, especially like the omnibuses, which are the ones that collect all the stories and stuff through all the different books. Like, those are fucking really expensive. I wasn't going to make you guys buy that shit to get an entry level stuff. So, because there is a TV show coming out about one of their characters called Eisenhorn, who is an inquisitor that goes around and like purging heresy and shit. But I think it's either going to be an Amazon show or a Netflix show. I can't remember which one it is.
Or Quibi.
But yeah, not Quibi. Still interested to see how that does, but no.
I won't invest in it. I just want to see if it fails or not.
Yeah.
Well, because there's like Christoph Waltz in like one of the clips or whatever. That seems like they have a bunch of big name actors in some of the clips, and it's like I know they're probably doing it as favors mostly, but it seems like, hey, maybe there might be something here if people actually like invest in it. So I don't know. But I guess I didn't know the whole thing about the whole like, hey, a 10-minute thing and it's all for commute people, and it's like, oh, then fuck that.
Yeah, you can only watch it on your phone, so. Also,
yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
The other thing I forgot to mention about it is there's this like tracking technology, like where you can like look off, like using your phone, you can look off a different direction from where the character's looking on screen and look around the environment and stuff. But that's only for like certain shows. But
No.
I don't know if it's worth that much money.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing I've been wasting my time with. I've been playing a ton of VR.
There you go.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you if you're going to set that up again in your new place because
yeah.
I enjoyed doing that.
Yeah, because I have more space I set everything up so I have more space than I ever had before for VR, and it's like, and Half-Life Alyx just came out, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
I thought about getting. It's like $280, but I thought so. Valve has their own headset called the Index. But they have these controllers where you fit them over your hands and they track each individual finger. So they just like sit on your hands and then you can just do whatever you want with your hands.
The Nintendo Power Glove.
Yeah. And so like in that game, like if you have those things, like, you know, you can do anything, you know, you can flip people off. You can, like, I see there's stuff where people are juggling stuff. Because there's this part where like the Combine are holding you up hostage and like put your hands up, and like a video is like somebody puts their hands up and then they just start juggling shit while the guy's like putting a gun out, like juggling teacups and shit. So I thought like that'd be cool, but yeah, I'm not gonna get that, but that'd be cool. So I finished the game and like it was really cool, but
something.
Huh?
Who's touching something?
That's Andrew.
Oh, okay.
Well, I just looked at my battery because I'm about dead.
Oh, okay.
And I don't have a charger anywhere near here. So I was trying to see if my one USB-C charger actually fit in here, and it does not. So sorry.
If we lose Andrew, we'll know what.
We'll still have one of the twins, so we'll be fine.
Yeah, it was really there's kind of a bummer. There's an interesting enemy where it's like you can't kill them, but they only can hear things, and so you have to still. But it'll like emit this powder, and so if you cough, if you get the powder, so you have to like hold one of your hands up to your face, so that your character puts their hand over their mouth so they don't cough.
Huh.
And then you have to like grab beer bottles from around the environment and throw it around to like distract the enemy. So that's kind of an interesting encounter. And of course, there's one part where you have to trap them in a refrigerator, and then the power goes out, and then you have to like go back in that room to get the power back on. So you have to like let them out. So like, oh fuck, of course I have to do this. But it kind of gets a bummer later on because you end up fighting more Combine fights, and they just kind of end up being lame. You have to do them over and over again. And the biggest problem is that, like, if you shoot one of the Combine in the head, they don't die. And you can, like, empty a clip of their head and they won't die. And then they just, and it's hard to tell, like, what's visible to them that they're shooting of you. So then you just kind of, like, die for no reason. And one of the, an easy way to get past is you get a shotgun and you just hide behind something, and there's like these big shotgun guys, and they take a lot of damage, and if you keep shooting them, they'll like pull up shields, and they can basically, and they get up close, they can basically kill you in one hit. So one thing you do is just like hide behind like a pillar, and wait for them to come to you, and you can hear them walking around the corner, and then you just like poke the shotgun around the corner into their face and pull the trigger.
Wow.
It's like, well, that solved the problem. But it's still like really fucking cool. It's the most high production value VR game out there, and it's just it was really fucking cool, despite some of its problems. But
Yeah.
because also there's a weird thing where it's like, by the end of the game, I felt like I explored everything in the game, and by the end of the game, I didn't have all the upgrades for all the weapons, and I
Yeah.
felt like that should have been available to me. Like I did the work, give me all the shit. And then it kind of changes some things at the end of the very last Half-Life thing. So there's like hope for maybe there'll be a new Half-Life at some point, but we'll see.
That was always hope.
Yeah, they probably won't, but well, one of the things, like, essentially their biggest barrier to them making a Half-Life game is that when they make a Half-Life game, they want to make something that completely changes the industry.
Oh.
So they have such a high standard for it. If they don't have an idea that'll change everything, they're not going to make the game. Because they don't need to make Half-Life to make money. Like, they've already figured out how to make money. They don't need to figure that out anymore.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then I played some Beat Saber, which is like it's like a music rhythm game, but you have lightsabers in your hands, and these squares fly at you, and you have to cut them in certain directions. It's a pretty cool game. Made me sweat, so I was like, it's like, well, at least I'm, playing a video game while standing and not just sitting on my ass.
That's true.
And I played some Rhombus of Ruin. It was a Psychonauts VR experience. That one was okay, but it wasn't like the full VR experience where you have like are holding something. It was one of those VR experiences where like it gets contextualized by you just looking at things.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I looked at this thing, and you look at it longer, and and then you have some buttons you press, but it's not as cool as the other ones I've been playing, where it's like you have you physically exist in the space and have hands that do things. But yeah, so that's been VR.
VR world.
VR corner, I like it.
They can't.
Porn.
Huh?
That was VR porn.
Oh, cool.
VR porn and a fleshlight.
Yeah, I built a skateboard, so that was the other thing.
What was that all about?
Here, let me go get it real quick.
All right. Okay, talk quietly amongst yourselves. We're going to stuff.
So Giant Bomb, they came out with a skateboard deck as a thing you can buy,
Yeah.
and like they had like a Christmas sale, and I got it for like I think it was like $50, and I think they're normally $70.
Okay.
So I was like, I got it because I thought it would just look cool, and but it was just the board,
Yeah.
and then I thought it was just kind of lame that it was just the board, and so I just got the rest of the stuff.
Tires and where'd you get that stuff at?
Oh, Amazon. I just got it. And there's mostly, I got black trucks because I just thought they looked cool, because basically it was either silver or black. That was kind of the ones I saw.
Okay.
I got these red Spitfire wheels because they're supposedly the best.
Okay.
Looks good.
And then I got this deck. This deck tape doesn't come with it. It was just a bare board, and so I got this, and it's like a and it's all Back to the Future shit. Like there's a DeLorean, there's a flux capacitor,
Oh, okay. That was
Awesome.
nice. All right.
and then there's just some. It's just some missing here because that's the company that made this. That was their little bear.
Yeah.
And then I fucked up cutting off the sides. Like I used scissors at first, but then I wanted to get a closer cut, and then I just had like an X-Acto knife, and I just kind of fucked it up. But and it's not. And it's if you just like grab at the edges, it kind of peels away. And even though I took like a ball and I just kept like trying to roll all the air out of it, but it's still. But being that I'm never gonna like actually skateboard with this, it's fine. Whatever. So I completed a skateboard.
Oh,
It
okay.
looks good. I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I remember there's this YouTube channel where people have a water knife, and they took skateboard wheels, and you know how you ever take your high pressure sprayer and run it against the wheels and they spin really fast?
Yeah.
Okay, well these guys did it with a 60,000 psi water jet on skateboard wheels on a truck, and they actually they expanded and blew off the rim. 50,000 RPM, something the bearings were never designed to tolerate.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah, you gotta hammer the bearings in there. There's like just an open space in the wheel, and there's there's bearing on each side of the wheel. So you gotta like pound them in there. It was kind of there's an interesting tool. Here, let me get that too.
I like the bearing flange tool. It's got like the notch, the dimple in the middle.
So I got this tool as well. This is separate, but it like helps it put together. So it's just this.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this this for everything on this skateboard, this will take it apart or tighten it or or put it together.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So that does everything on the board.
Yeah.
Because there's like you got like the screws that go into the deck right there. That's a different thing. You have this bolt here which changes like sort of like how easily the trucks move
Right.
or bend.
Yeah.
Because like when you sit on it, because like as you put more pressure on this side, they face one way, and that's how you turn on the skateboard. And then also that nut there, that's a different size one. So like each side does a different nut, and you can take apart and put together this whole board with just this tool.
Oh, well, that's handy. Cool.
I tried standing on like because there's some pavement in the back room there, and I stood on it. And I have the wheels like really loose, and it's like, oh yeah, this wasn't meant for like a 270-pound man to stand on.
That's why you got to get the those diamond plate decks.
Yeah.
So when you grind the board, it throws sparks.
Well, they have those nude. There's like that. Well, I guess it's not a nude craze, but it's like the riding boards. Like they call them like Thor boards, but they're like really long and they have like a T out the front, and they're like meant for actually like riding around. They're not meant for doing tricks and shit like that.
Oh, okay.
If you ever saw that movie, the fuck, has Ben Stiller in it, and it's like the Wonderful World of Walter Smith.
Walter Mitty. That
Yes,
one?
yeah. So like
Yeah.
in that movie, he rides around on one of those skateboards at the end of it.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, those are weird looking.
But those have like big wheels. They're actually meant to like ride around,
Yeah.
but they're also like huge. So
Expensive too. Even have off-road skateboards.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, I remember like when I got into skateboarding, like I had like some shitty like Walmart skateboard where like, you know, the wheel doesn't have ball bearings or anything and it's just complete garbage.
Metal on metal, yeah.
Yeah, and then like if you hit a rock, you just fly off the skateboard. And then like one of the neighbors had like, and this was in the '90s, but one of the neighbors had like a one of those skateboards from the 80s that basically look like surfboards.
Yeah.
They're like the early vert boards. They basically look like, so the back was like squared off and the front was an oval. But they're big, but they had big wheels on it, and the wheels could actually go over rocks. So that's why I like ride around. Like when I was skateboarding, I wasn't doing tricks and stuff, but I'd just ride around on a skateboard, and you could go over rocks and bumps and stuff, and not worry about killing yourself.
Oh,
And then one of my friends fell and broke his arm in the street, and then that was the end of skateboarding.
gave up on that, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's because I had to jump in front of a car and get him to the hospital, and when I went to go back to find the skateboard was gone.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow. And then somebody killed your Asian brother, and he had to clean the cube. That's what happened.
That's the basis for the story.
It was a true story. It happened to Common. I didn't know that.
Somebody killed my brother. I'm trying to do. Oh fuck! I'm trying to
Christian
do
Slater.
Christian Slater, which is like half-ass Nicolas Cage or Jack
That's
Nicholson.
like young Jack Nicholson, yeah, but like half energy. So.
Well, there's a podcast I listen to, and they constantly do Christian Slater impression.
Nice.
Because they watched a movie, it's the Action Boys podcast, and they watched a movie I'd never heard of called Cuffs, which was a Christian Slater like rent-a-cop movie.
Nice.
It was based on, well, actually, I forget. It's like a patrol special. It's like something in San Francisco where, like, if they don't have enough cops, like, basically they can hire citizens to be cops, but you don't have to go through training.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that movie's about. But it's
is
like
it Police Academy Citizens on Patrol? Is it like that?
Yeah, vaguely like that. It's a movie that like wanted to be Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but with cops.
Huh. Okay.
Sounds weird.
Who's the chick that's in Fifth Element?
Oh.
God damn it! In Resident Evil 2, yeah.
Mila Jovovich, is that her name?
Mila Jovovich. So this is a movie from the '80s. Mila Jovovich is in it. I was like, man, how old is she? And she plays his girlfriend, and then comes to find out she's 15 when she's in that movie. It's like, oh, holy shit, that's weird.
That's questionable.
Yep.
Hmm.
But also, he's supposed to be like 19 in the movie, but I don't know how old he actually was. But that was weird.
Little odd. And that was written by Woody Allen. So
Yeah, it all made sense.
yeah, it all adds up.
Age is only a number. Prison is only a place.
Love is forever.
Yeah.
Love. Dark world.
Where do you see the movie Cuffs? That sounds like an interesting.
Well, so the program we use is called Just Watch, and you put any movie in there and it'll tell you where it's streaming. So let me put that.
Okay.
It's Cuffs with a K. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't gonna guess that. Okay.
So let's see if it's streaming.
As opposed to the cuffs about the cufflink trade industry. Yeah.
Looks like you can buy it anywhere, but it isn't like it's streaming anywhere. So you can rent it for like
on
$3.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's not a good movie, but it seems like it has a lot of value to it.
What did I just watch? Okay, that kind of thing.
Well, they keep bringing up something like apparently he keeps talking about turkey in that movie because one of the guy does a Christian Slater impression and he's like, I hope you got your turkey. Going to the apocalypse. I hope you got your turkey.
What happened to Christian Slater? Last time I saw him was Mr. Robot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty recent. I mean that show just ended, I think. So.
Yeah, this year. Yeah. Yeah, I watched a movie today that was kind of one of like it's not a good movie, but you're like, I guess it's worth spending time on. It's called. Everybody heard of that one?
What's that?
Heavenly Kid. Have you heard of that?
No.
So it's the quickest way to explain it is this guy, he dies in a chicken like car race, so, like his like bracelets get stuck to the gear shift, and he goes over the cliff, and the car explodes. and he goes to like it's not called heaven or hell, it's called like uptown, and then midtown's like in between heaven and hell or whatever, and he's stuck there and has to ride the subway for 20 years so he can get an assignment to prove he should go to uptown, and his assignment is to help this kid. It turns out to be his son. He doesn't know that at the time, but he's like his guardian angel, and the kid's gonna die the same way, like in a car race or whatever. And the mom from Malcolm in the Middle is in it, and there's a lot of like really bad mid-'80s like people are levitating special effects. Like, it's really it's weird. There's a lot of like focus on the guy that's the guardian angel. He's invisible, but he's really like focused on teenagers' cleavage when he's at high school with the kid, and it's like really weird. Like, it's hard to explain. It's very strange.
Huh.
But yeah,
who made that movie, or is anybody in it that we recognize? Oh, I guess you said the mom
from Malcolm in the Middle is probably the only person in it I recognize.
Was that just on Disney Plus, or why'd you watch it?
Oh, it's on Amazon Prime. It just showed up like as a movie, and I remember watching it when I was a kid. It was on like HBO constantly when I was a kid, and it's not the same. When I watched it as a kid, I didn't notice like when the cars go off the cliff. There's like obviously a line, like it's attached to a cable and it's getting pulled off the cliff, like it's not actually being driven. And just like the music choices are really weird, and yeah, it's a very it's a very 80s type of movie, and there wasn't a single South Korean, so the diversity was really suspect. There was yeah. So yeah, it's not like a great movie, but you're like, oh, I guess that was interesting.
The world's most okayest movie.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, it's no Short Circuit 2, but what is?
I still haven't watched Bloodshot yet, but like I saw the critics rating. I just bought it like I like probably would have watched that. I feel like that was going to be sort of like upgrade, but like then I saw like I bought it just kind of sight unseen, and I saw the critic reviews, and it just got eviscerated. It's like,
yeah,
oh well, whatever.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty shitty, but yeah, I mean,
now
hopefully it should be pretty good.
At least now I have low expectations, so that's good.
No, I know. It's just Vin Diesel's not supposed to be a good vehicle for that movie. It's supposed to be pretty bad with him in it, just because his range of acting is pretty shit, unfortunately.
Would have been better with Christian.
But no, I just got the notification. Hey, he should do more work. Come on, he's giving Mr. Robot. You could just be like Hard Rain, but with him. Not as armored car driver now. No Morgan Freeman. Or maybe no, add Morgan Freeman. Fuck it. And Samuel L. Jackson. Every attitude black man there is, just add them.
what was the movie I saw this week? Oh, I saw Vice. I finally watched that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I heard divisive things. I heard everybody wants that movie to be good, but it's not really.
It's you know what side of the field they're coming from.
Yeah.
Obvious all the way. I mean, it's Adam McKay and all those guys. But I'll tell you what, it kind of redeems itself the last 5 minutes of the movie when he talks directly to the camera about this is who I am and this is why. And it's basically like, you want to sleep at night, right? You need assholes. I'm that asshole, and you wanted me, and you chose me, and now you're stuck with me. And it's like, oh yeah, they're absolutely right. This is why guys come to power. So, I mean, Christian Bale does everyone who acts in it does a good job. It's just the story they're given and the way they're telling it is like, well, yeah, you're almost making this out like a farce, but it's like it wasn't. These people were serious. But yeah, I like for some reason the speech, the breaking the fourth wall speech at the very end. It's like, oh yeah, so they do understand it. They just didn't write a good movie around it.
But Christian Bale does a good job and everything.
Yeah, everyone does a good job. Steve Carell does a great job as Donald Rumsfeld.
Isn't Sam Rockwell George Bush, I think, if I remember right?
Yeah, he does. He's not in it a whole lot. He does a good job of channeling George Bush as kind of like this, hey, I want to be president. What does a president do?
Yeah, I
need
somebody to do all this stuff for me.
Yeah, I can help you be president. It's like, how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to channel all this stuff through my office. And then I'm going to get the same reports you do probably 15 minutes before you so I can tell you what to do. And he didn't come out and say it like that, but George Bush is like, yeah, that sounds cool. I can absolutely see George Bush doing.
Oh yeah, he's like, yeah, let's do this, sure.
And then there's kind of the part, because one of Dick Cheney's daughters was a lesbian, was openly a lesbian.
Yeah.
And because Dick Cheney at one time was talking about running for president. It was like at the tail end of the 80s. And he's like, yeah, I can't do that to my daughter. They just eviscerate her. And then he comes back with George Bush, because George Bush initially is like, hey, do you want to be my vice president? And he's like, no, I don't think I could. Because I got things, in my past, and there's things with my family. And he's like, oh, yeah, your daughter, she goes with girls, right? And he's like, yeah, I guess that's one way to put it. And she's like, don't worry about it. People moved on since then. So, yeah, the George Bush stuff is good, and so is the Donald Rumsfeld stuff. There's just not enough of it.
Yeah.
There's so much of this play acting kind of interstitial, left-wing interpretations of this is what these guys did and this is why they're doing it. And it's like, okay, yeah, they're kind of beating you over the head with it. But his performance probably deserved an Oscar.
We got nominated. I can't remember who won, but
yeah, I'm not sure. But him and Steve Carell both did a good job. It's kind of like movies about the Bush era always fall flat because remember
W.
Yeah, Oliver Stone did that, and it's like, oh, this should be good cast. It's good. I know Oliver Stone's a good writer and a good director. It's all just through that weird fucking lens of like, it's just like that weird hippie lens they put on things. It's like, well, no, that's not the way to interpret it. There was a lot more fear than there was stupidity involved in the George W. Bush era because of 9/11 and a few things like that. Those little things that kind of polluted everyone's mind with fear, and we didn't know what was coming next. So that's Vice falls into the same trap that W did. It's like, yeah, okay, Moonbeam, nice thought, but that's not how the world works. There's a reason the world works this way, and you got to understand it. You don't have to accept it, but you have to understand it. It's not good, but the movie was, it was okay. It was well acted. Wasn't a strong script.
Yeah,
I'd say, but because Dick Cheney is a very
well, is it that thing where it's like because this guy comes from a humor background, they keep trying to throw humor in there when he should just just go straight into drama.
Yeah, it's kind of like comedic reinterpretations of it's like we're gonna do this and this and that, and then it cuts to like all this kind of interstitial shit that's going on that has nothing to do with the story, but like this is all the bad that Dick Cheney did, and it's like, okay, but why did he do that stuff? Because it's bad. No, stop. Why is he doing this stuff?
Because they do it really well in The Big Short, but The Big Short also has that kind of like straight to camera stuff where it's like this, but they just directly tell you like what's going on here.
Well, where The Big Short got it right was it was actually like, oh yeah, these are all greedy, evil, awful people, and this is why they did the things that they did. And it's basically because America wanted it. Everyone wanted cheap credit, and people that made $30,000 a year wanted $250,000 homes. The Big Short made it. There was so much data there, it made it very accessible.
But even if you go back to The Other Guys, which the movie did before that, they throw in a bunch of political stuff like in the middle of a comedy movie.
Yeah, it was.
And the whole end credits of that movie is like all the statistics that back up their comedy and their framing of a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does a lot of that, but it simplifies it a little too much. It almost makes it seem like good and evil, and then they give that speech at the end. It's like, well, no, okay, they actually understand there's some depth to this. They just didn't present it the whole movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why? Maybe that was a last-minute writer's thing too.
Yeah,
could have never intended to be in there because that was like.
Well, also they know the audience are selling this movie too. Hey, do you want to hate Cheney? Like, this is the movie for you.
Yeah, exactly. And that we got to move beyond that. We got to know why we hate Cheney.
Yeah.
It's not like these are good people or anything, but they're the bad people you want to keep your family safe. And it's true. But all right, well, that's all I have.
All right.
Want to add anything else?
No, I think I'm. Well, I mean, I
No,
have hundreds of things to add, but Our list of our notes are just growing. I don't think we took one thing off the list except for the
No.
book.
Well, we were trying to do the 4-way here, so that's
Yeah,
always
this is different. So
that's this week's excuse for not getting it done.
Yeah, because I'm at 4% battery anyway, so I'm done.
all right,
All right.
So-
All right.
For the American Greed Factory podcast, this is Nathan.
this is Conlon.
Andrew,
And Matt.
Goodbye, America.
bye.